Chapter 570. A genius remembers love in 1 second. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Yi Shang couldn't be blamed for being surprised. Normally, when someone came to propose marriage, the other party would ask about the family background, inquire about the situation, and make some requests. This was the normal procedure, but Sikong Tianding directly asked for betrothal gifts. Don't tell me you want to beat around the bush and ask about this and that. If you have the time, why don't you drink tea and chat? I like you. Most importantly, Chuyu likes and acknowledges you. That's enough. Sikong Tianding nodded at Night Sorrow. Thank you, uncle. This is the betrothal gift. Night Sorrow stepped forward and placed 2 life spirit stones and 2 bottles of origin spiritual liquid on the small table in front of Sikong Tianding. Life crystals as a betrothal gift. Not bad. It's settled then. You can decide when you want to get married. Just let me know when the time comes. With a wave of his hand, Sikong Tianding put away the betrothal gift into his storage ring. Third brother. Granduncle did say that he wouldn't force Chuyu, but he also said that the husband Chuyu chose would have to pass his eyes. Even if Tianlin doesn't interfere in this matter, third brother, you still have to ask about his background and background. Sikong Tianlin asked. After calming down, Sikong Tianlin felt that Sikong Tianding wanted to avoid the family and decide on Sikong Chuyu's marriage. Therefore, he brought out the family's old ancestor. Origin. He comes from the eastern Xian region. Third brother knows that family background isn't important. Even if he doesn't have it now, he just has to work hard to make a prominent family background. Granduncle won't interfere with Chuyu's matters. If you feel that something is wrong, you can report it to the old ancestor. Third brother won't keep you for lunch. Sikong Tianding rudely chased them away. In the past, when Sikong Tianjing and Sikong Tianhua were messing around, Sikong Tianding didn't want to hurt their brotherly relationship unless Sikong Chuyu forced him to. Everyone in the Sikong family knew this. Now that Sikong Tianlin was interfering, he didn't want to be polite anymore. Sikong Tianlin's expression changed. He cupped his hands at Sikong Tianding and Yang Yu before leaving the Heavenly Cauldron residence. Tianding, is this all right? Yang Yu asked as she watched Sikong Tianlin, Chu Zhongqing, Chu Zhongfei, and Chu Yu leave. There's nothing bad about it. They're a little reckless and don't know what they can't do. That little girl is also too impudent. She doesn't know that my precious daughter is the young miss of the Sikong clan. I've tolerated them for so many years. There's no end to it. I won't spoil them in the future, Sikong Tianding said angrily. Father, don't be angry. Let's not be angry. Sikong Chuyu came to Sikong Tianding's side and held his hand. How can I not be angry? Night Sorrow, I don't have any requirements for you. Just one thing, whoever dares to bully my precious daughter, kill them, no matter who they are, Sikong Tianding said. Uncle, don't worry. Night Sorrow, will definitely do it. Night Sorrow bowed. He really admired Sikong Tianding's character. He placed his family above all else. You're lucky to have the daughter that I spent so much effort to raise. You can call me father-in-law. Look, that's mother-in-law. Sikong Tianding raised his chin at Yang Yu. Night Sorrow pays his respects to father-in-law and mother-in-law. Night Sorrow bowed again. This meeting gift is really worrying. Father-in-law, I don't have any extra spirit weapons. If it's not a spirit weapon, you probably won't care about it. Spirit stones are too vulgar. Let me think about it first. Sikong Tianding stroked the beard under his chin and said after thinking for a while. How embarrassing. You two chat. I'll go arrange the banquet. Yang Yu smiled and left the garden. Sikong Chuyu also followed. Father-in-law, Knight Sorrow came here this time for another matter. I'm here on behalf of Tianji Tower and Eastern Xian region. Knight Sorrow poured a cup of tea for Sikong Tianding and said. You're here on behalf of Tianji Tower and Eastern Xian region. Can you do it? Sikong Tianding looked at Knight Sorrow with some surprise. Of course. This is my Aunt Faye's token. This is the token of the Heaven's Extremity Envoy of Tianji Tower. I'm mainly here to communicate with father-in-law. Knight Sorrow took out Wu Lingfei's token and the Heaven's Extremity Envoy's token and showed it to Sikong Tianding. Kid, you're really something. Your strength is first class, and your social status is also first class. Then let's talk. Someone, bring a jar of wine. The more Sikong Tianding looked at Knight Sorrow, the more he liked him. He shouted to the servant. Knight Sorrow has wine here. Knight Sorrow took out a jar of azure blood wine and poured a bowl for Sikong Tianding. Sikong Tianding took the bowl and drank it in one gulp. Good wine, it's really satisfying. You come too. Let's drink and talk. But kid, don't expect your father-in-law to betray the family. That's impossible. Knight Sorrow smiled and told him about Lin Yuandao and Wu Lingfei's intentions. They hoped that the Sikong family would not get involved in this mess. If they needed any help, Tianji Tower could help them secretly. That's not a problem. We, the Sikong clan, have our own dignity. We won't follow anyone, Sikong Tianding said. Bow, then I'm relieved. Knight Sorrow felt a lot more at ease now that the two things he needed to do in the Sikong clan had been settled. After that, Knight Sorrow and Sikong Tianding began to chat and sip wine. A moment later, Yang Yu and Sikong Chuyu returned to the garden. Knight Sorrow, how could you leave Chuyu's sisters in the inn? That's not appropriate. Let's forget about lunch. You can pick them up later and have dinner together, Yang Lei said. Just now, Sikong Chuyu had told her about Yang Lei. All right. Knight Sorrow nodded. You have the ability. A man should blossom in all directions. Everything is fine. But if you don't treat Chuyu well, your father-in-law won't forgive you, Sikong Tianding said. After lunch, they drank tea and chatted. At this moment, an old man in a gray robe walked into the courtyard. Tianding, why didn't you bring him to my place? The old man asked after entering the courtyard. I just finished my lunch. Knight Sorrow, this is our family's ancestor, Sikong Tianding introduced. After Sikong Tianding finished his introduction, Sikong Chuyu and Knight Sorrow bowed respectfully. He has already reached the 8th level of the Void Inquiry stage at such a young age. This is very rare. His essence chi is more than 40 zhang * 3. 33 m per zhang, tall. His body has also been cultivated to a high level. That Chu Hing even had designs on Chu Yu. Compared to you, he's just trash. Sikong Luyun sized up Knight Sorrow and said. Granduncle, has Tian Lin gone to see you? Sikong Tianding thought for a while and asked. It's fine for a girl to side with an outsider. But there must be a limit. She seems to have no bottom line. You have to teach her a lesson. The Sikong clan is the world of the Sikong clan. You have to distinguish the priorities. Sikong Luyun said. During the conversation, Sikong Tianding told him about the news brought by Knight Sorrow. He also told him about the forces that the Eastern Xian region and Tianji Tower had gathered in the Realm Sea. He also told him about the attitudes of the Eastern Xian region and Tianji Tower. A just cause enjoys abundant support while an unjust cause finds little support. The Jiyu clan is becoming more and more unreliable. The Sikong clan won't participate in this matter. Since the Tianji Tower, the Eastern Xian region and Lord Golden Phoenix have given us face, we have to accept it. Sikong Luyun said. In other words, he accepted the suggestion of the Eastern Xian region and Tianji Tower. Then I can go back and report on my mission. Night Sorrow said. Chapter 571. Geniuses remember love in 1 second. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Senior, do you mean that my Auntie Faye knows about the Sikong family's decision? I'm just here to go through the motions. Night Sorrow looked at Sikong Luyun in surprise. You brought the message. As long as the Sikong family isn't stupid, we will definitely choose to stay out of it. Therefore, Lord Golden Phoenix already knows the actual result. You can stay here for a few more days. Sikong Luyun said as he sized up Night Sorrow. He was very curious about how Night Sorrow had cultivated his body to the point that it was more than 40 feet tall. I see. It's just a formality. Night Sorrow shook his head. He understood that Wu Lingfei and Lin Yuandao had sent him out to play. Not everyone can go through this formality. If it were anyone else, the Sikong family would also have to be on guard. Since you are here, you don't have to think about anything else. You don't have to think about how high or low your attitude is. Just do what you need to do. This is pretty good, Sikong Luyun said with a smile. Night Sorrow nodded. He understood the benefits of coming here. It was true that he was more suitable than anyone else. After staying for a while, Sikong Luyun reminded Night Sorrow to stay for a few more days before leaving. At the same time, he asked Sikong Chuyu to bring Night Sorrow to his place when he was free. Lunch was eaten by Sikong Tianding and his wife, Night Sorrow, and Sikong Chuyu. Fortunately, everyone got along well. A good alcohol tolerance was very useful at this time. Night Sorrow accompanied Sikong Tianding until he was dizzy, but he was still fine. You have a good alcohol tolerance. Your father-in-law can't take it anymore. I'm going to sleep for a while. Kong Yuan. Sikong Tianding waved his hand and a man in white appeared at the side of the garden. Follow the son-in-law closely when he is at the Sikong residence. If anyone dares to cause trouble for him, just take them down. If you can't handle it yourself, bring the feather guards with you. Sikong Tianding said something to the white-robed man, who was Kong Yuan. Then, he went back to his room to rest. Night Sorrow, our family only has one daughter, Chu Yu, so this will be your home from now on. Make yourself at home, Yang Yu said as she stood up. After Sikong Tianding and Yang Yu left, Night Sorrow and Sikong Chuyu smiled at each other. How does it feel to have a successful marriage proposal? Sikong Chuyu asked the servants to serve tea. He then looked at Night Sorrow and asked with a smile. Steady. I can finally be with you openly, Night Sorrow said. In the past, many people wanted to interfere with my marriage. They all wanted to use my marriage as an opportunity to cozy up to the Sikong family. Now that the ancestor and my parents have acknowledged you, there won't be any blind people who want to cause trouble. Love go little say Kusikong Chuyu said with a smile. I understand. That's why I said steady, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Then let's go out for a walk. I'll have to trouble Uncle Kong Yuan during this time. Sikong Chuyu nodded at Kong Yuan. Kong Yuan was Sikong Tianding's personal guard. He was also a commander of the Feather Guard under Sikong Tianding's command. He was relatively familiar with Sikong Chuyu. Chuyu, don't be so polite with Uncle Kong Yuan. Alright, I'll go arrange the beast carriage. Kong Yuan smiled and left to make the arrangements. Night Sorrow and Sikong Chuyu then left the Sikong family's residence in the beast carriage. They first went to the inn to pick up Yang Lei before touring Bailing City. Bailing City was a city ruled by the Sikong family. Although it couldn't compare to Qingtian City, it was still very prosperous. It was between a monarch city and a first-grade city. Kong Yuan followed Night Sorrow and the others from afar. This way, he wouldn't disturb Night Sorrow and the others and wouldn't cause any problems. Sikong Chuyu bought clothes for his parents and some of Bailing City's specialty wine for Night Sorrow. Baidu search AI go female sign shao say www.aichuxs. After touring Bailing City for half a day, the three of them finally returned to the Sikong family's residence. Sikong Tianding and Yang Yu also treated Yang Lei very well. This was how gracious and magnanimous they were. Night Sorrow, it's fine for you to propose marriage on your own behalf. Your mother-in-law, the patriarch, and I also agree. However, this engagement ceremony can't go on. After all, something is missing. If you have time, bring an elder over. That way, it'll be easier to talk things over, Sikong Tianding said during dinner. Night Sorrow understands. Night Sorrow nodded. He knew that Sikong Tianding's request was very reasonable. After all, big families needed to look good. Yes, you guys are going out to play today. Father-in-law was thinking about this matter. It's a little inappropriate for you to hold this engagement ceremony by yourself. However, don't worry. We've already informed the family about you and Chuyu. Everyone in the family knows about your existence, Sikong Tianding said. Night Sorrow and the others stayed in the Sikong family for a few days. Night Sorrow and Sikong Chuyu also paid a visit to Sikong Chuyu's close relatives. Of course, this included Sikong Tianlin and Chu Zhongqing. No one knew what Sikong Tianlin and Chu Zhongqing were thinking. However, they still received Night Sorrow and Sikong Chuyu politely on the surface. Chu Zhongqing didn't say a word from beginning to end. Night Sorrow and Sikong Chuyu didn't care about this. This was just a courtesy visit. They didn't care about Sikong Tianlin and Chu Zhongqing's attitude. The one who was most enthusiastic about Night Sorrow was Sikong Tianyu. She wasn't married and only had relatives in the Sikong family. Night Sorrow also invited Sikong Tianyu to be a guest in the Eastern Xian region. After staying for a few days, Night Sorrow had to leave. He was worried about the confrontation between the Eastern Xian region and the Qingtian region. Although he couldn't do anything, Night Sorrow hoped that he could be there. That could be considered as doing his duty as a citizen of the Eastern Xian region. Sikong Tianding expressed his support for Night Sorrow's decision to leave. He could understand Night Sorrow's state of mind. However, Sikong Tianding and Yang Yu were very reluctant to part with Sikong Chuyu. This was because Sikong Chuyu had expressed that he would go with Night Sorrow to Taiwei region. Sikong Tianding personally sent Night Sorrow and the other two to Bailing City's teleportation array. Remember to come back when you have time. Sikong Tianding said to Night Sorrow and the other two who had entered the teleportation array. Night Sorrow and the other two bowed to Sikong Tianding and started the teleportation array. After arriving at Qingtian City, the three glanced at the guards and quickly left the teleportation array. Then, they put on their masks and rode Yang Lei's mount to the underground hall of the Celestial Peak Pavilion. Then, they started the teleportation array. Not long after Night Sorrow and the others left the teleportation array, a guard shouted, "That's the wanted criminal of our Qingtian region, Night Sorrow. Hurry up and chase after him. I will report to the city lord's mansion." The Qingtian region had already confirmed that the loss of the Xiantian Tower, which was also the Spacetime Pagoda, was related to Night Sorrow. This was because Night Sorrow was the most suspicious person during that period of time. It could be said that Sky-bearing City had investigated all the people who had attempted the pagoda during that period of time. They had captured and interrogated them, but there was no problem. In addition, Wu Lingfei had also used the pagoda once, so this matter had been confirmed. Night Sorrow naturally became a wanted criminal of Sky-bearing City. He is all one pirated version Yishang's portrait had already been passed down in the Qingtian region. However, it didn't exist in Bailing City because it was a region ruled by the Sikong clan. If the Sikong clan wanted to, they could do so. If they didn't want to, they wouldn't. Chapter 572. Genius remembers love in 1 second/small. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. After leaving the valley where West Sea City's teleportation array was, Night Sorrow looked at the two girls. Why don't you go to West Sea City's Tianji Tower branch and wait for me there? We'll go and take a look together. You don't need to worry about our safety. The battle shouldn't have started yet, otherwise, there would have been rumors, Yang Lei said. She knew that Night Sorrow had arranged this because he was worried about her and Sikong Chuyu's safety. Yes, you don't need to worry. We'll discover any danger ahead of time. Sikong Chuyu also wanted to go and take a look. After thinking about it, Night Sorrow felt that the two girls' words were reasonable, so he nodded in agreement. The three of them rode their mounts to the edge of the realm's sea and approached the battlefield. Seeing that there were no changes, Night Sorrow brought the two girls to the camp by the sea. After greeting some acquaintances, Night Sorrow brought the two girls to the mountain where Wu Lingfei and Lin Yuandao were cultivating. We're back. Things should have gone smoothly, right? Wu Lingfei and Lin Yuandao opened their eyes. Very smoothly. Is there any situation on Aunt Fei's side? Night Sorrow looked at the camp in the realm's sea and asked. Same as always. They're still in a stalemate. They're still trying to gather more people and increase their strength, but so what? Without confidence in winning, they won't dare to attack, Wu Lingfei said. What did the Sikong family say? Lin Yuandao asked. The Sikong family won't get involved in this mess, so they don't plan on getting involved with the Jiyu family. Night Sorrow told them about Sikong Luyun and Sikong Tianding's decision. That's good. Lin Yuandao nodded. The Sikong family was a top family in the Qingtian region and had many venerables. If they participated in the battle, it would have a big impact on the war. How are your personal matters? Wu Lingfei looked at Night Sorrow and Sikong Chuyu and asked. It went smoothly. Chuyu's father has already agreed to our matter, and Venerable Lu Yun doesn't object either. It's just that the engagement ceremony can't be carried out. After all, I don't have any elders present. Night Sorrow nodded. He was quite happy about this matter. When there's time, I'll go to the Sikong clan to help you settle the matter. If there's nothing else, you can go back to Dongxian City and rest. Cultivate as you should. There won't be any changes in this battle for a while, unless there's a special reason, said Wu Lingfei. You can go back first. Would the Qingtian region dare to attack directly? Without absolute certainty, they wouldn't dare to do it. But we might soon have the certainty, Lin Yuandao said. Night Sorrow thought about it and understood. If Guo Xiao and Lutrin Swan entered the Saint Realm, then the situation would change. After leaving some wine for Wu Lingfei and Lin Yuandao, Night Sorrow left the Realm's Sea battlefield with the two women. They arrived at the strategic teleportation array and teleported back to Dongxian City. When they returned to Qingxin Cottage, they saw Gong Xian cultivating the wind and thunder sword technique. Where's sixth senior sister? Asked Night Sorrow. Ha! She's stabilizing her cultivation. She broke through the day before yesterday. She's waiting for you to come back to celebrate. Gong Xian said after putting away his sword. This is a joyous occasion. We should celebrate. Once sixth senior sister stabilizes her cultivation, we'll hold a sumptuous banquet. Night Sorrow waved his arm. Aoi had always doted on and taken care of Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow was very grateful for this. Did your trip to the Sikong clan go smoothly? 13. Did your marriage proposal succeed? Gong Xian asked, his eyes full of anticipation. Yes. The Sikong clan agreed to my marriage proposal. Besides, I'm planning to return to the sect to propose marriage to Master. I can't let ninth senior sister continue to wait. Night Sorrow said. All right. This is our family's matter. It's just a formality. However, we still need to give her a betrothal gift. Gong Xian said with a smile. He was very happy to see his junior sister and junior brother living well. 2 days later, Aoi came out of seclusion. Night Sorrow asked Aunt Phone to arrange a sumptuous banquet for Aoi to celebrate. It's really not easy. I've finally entered the 5th rank. Aoi said with some emotions. Congratulations, 6th senior sister. Night Sorrow raised his wine cup to Aoi. It's all because of the abundant resources you gave me. Otherwise, 6th senior sister wouldn't have had the chance. Aoi said to Night Sorrow. She was quite emotional. In the past, she really didn't think that she could enter the void inquiry stage. A few years ago, there were no venerables in the Medicine Valley. The void inquiry stage was the highest level. In the entire Medicine Valley, there were no void inquiry stage disciples among the younger generation. But now, the Taishan peak was developing rapidly. More than half of the second-generation disciples of the Taishan peak had entered the void inquiry stage. As for the other peaks, there were very few of them. There were only 3 or 4 of them. In total, they were only half of the Taishan peak. What was the reason for this? It was because the resources that Night Sorrow provided were domineering. As long as everyone needed it, Night Sorrow would provide them with resources. 13th Junior Brother, the situation of our Taishan peak has made the other peak lords very jealous. They have asked me many times about the reason. It made me feel very helpless. Gong Xian said with a smile. What's there to be jealous of? It's all because of senior brother and senior sister. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Your words aren't very convincing. This is what I said. The sacred cauldron scripture belongs to the Medicine Valley. My junior brother should hand it over to the Medicine Valley after obtaining it. However, my junior brother is willing to give the resources he obtained outside to senior brother and senior sister. What can we do about it? Gong Xian said with a smile. 13th Junior Brother, you don't know this. Those elders and peak lords came to find Master and said that they wanted you to help the disciples of the other peaks. Since Master didn't reply, they just stayed in the Taishan peak and refused to leave. Aoi said with a smile. I'm also confused. When I have time, I will concoct more pills. However, I don't have a lot of materials. Night Sorrow said. You don't have to worry about that. After I kept some resources, I handed some level 4 pills to the sect. Aoi said. Eldest senior brother and 6th senior sister, you guys can do as you see fit. By the way, I still have some void pills and clear void pills. Night Sorrow took out a few bottles of pills and handed them to Aoi. Genuine F***CK. First F***CK. 13th Junior Brother, you have taken out too many resources. You have to keep them. Even if you can't use them, you can exchange them for resources you need. Aoi waved her hand. Gong Xian also shook his head. It's okay. I have enough resources. Night Sorrow smiled and placed the pills in front of Aoi. Maybe it's because I'm narrow-minded. When I see people I don't know or even know using 13th Junior Brother's resources, I feel uncomfortable. Aoi took a deep breath and said. It's okay. Medicine Valley is our sect. The sect is strong and we have a sense of honor. As for other things, it doesn't matter. Night Sorrow said with a smile. 13th Junior Brother, when do you plan to go back and propose marriage to Master? Also, don't you plan to climb Danding Cliff? Gong Xian looked at Night Sorrow and asked. Then let's go back and settle these 2 things. Night Sorrow said after thinking for a while. Chapter 573. Genius 1 second. Remember love divided by go divided by little. We provide you with interesting novels to read. After cultivating for a whole night, Night Sorrow and the others woke up early. They tidied up and greeted Ning Ching Fong and the members of the God-slaying squad. Then, they rode on their mounts and went to the teleportation formation, directly teleporting to Danding City. Love Go Little Say Wangtzu, eldest senior brother, master is in seclusion. How am I going to propose marriage? Looking at the golden flame palace which was emitting a gentle light, Night Sorrow felt a little troubled. It's all right. Master is now working hard on his cultivation. He's not in seclusion to break through. There's no need to be disturbed. Gong Xian went into the golden flame palace to look for Yu Yangyu. The golden flame palace had already opened the trial for its disciples. However, the trial was only for those below the 5th grade. The trial for those above the 5th grade would not be effective. Yu Yangyu was cultivating on the top floor of the golden flame palace. After a while, Yu Yangyu and Gong Xian walked out of the golden flame palace wearing a long robe with Tao patterns on it. When they saw Yu Yangyu, they all bowed to greet him. Ah oi, you have also entered the void inquiry stage. This is something worth celebrating. I have always been worried about you. Your temperament is too soft and you don't have enough motivation to cultivate. Now that you have entered the 5th grade, I am relieved. Yu Yangyu looked at Aoi with a face full of smiles. It's my fault for making Master worry. Aoi bowed to Yu Yangyu. Her eyes were filled with guilt. She knew that Yu Yangyu had worried a lot about her. B% original. Head. Don't think too much. Master is very happy. 13. My last disciple has now become the strongest disciple of the 2nd generation in the Medicine Valley. Very good. It's only a matter of time before you enter the Venerable Realm. You should spend more time with me this time. Yu Yangyu's eyes were filled with admiration while looking at Night Sorrow. The group then flew towards Danding Peak. Old 9, you should quit being the city lord of Danding City. To others, being a city lord might be beneficial, but to you, it's a burden, Yu Yangyu said to Yang Lei as they flew. Disciple has long wanted to quit, but I didn't dare to say it out loud. I was afraid that Master would be disappointed. Yang Lei said with some embarrassment. That's nothing. I care about the prosperity of the Medicine Valley, but I also care about whether you guys are doing well or not. I can't reject Shirsan as the Deputy Valley Master. If I can, I will help to reject him, Yu Yangyu said with a smile. It's fine, I don't have anything important to do, Night Sorrow said. Gong Xian, there's nothing you can do about this. Some things have to be shouldered. Lu Yangyu looked at Gong Xian and said. Let's go, Lu Yangyu looked at Gong Xian and said. Disciple understands. Don't worry, Master. I won't let you down. Gong Xian nodded. He knew his responsibility. Yu Yangyu didn't bring everyone to Danding Hall. Instead, they went straight to Taishian Hall on Taishian Peak. When they arrived at Taishian Hall, after everyone greeted Yu Yangyu, Night Sorrow walked to the center of the hall. Then, he walked to Yu Yangyu, who was sitting in the main seat, and bowed. Shirsan, if there's anything you need, just tell me. Yu Yangyu was stunned. In his memory, Night Sorrow never bowed to anyone. I go shao say w. Chu's disciple asks Master to betroth 9th senior sister to me. Night Sorrow continued to bow. That's it. Master agrees. You bowed so formally that I was shocked. I thought you were in trouble. Yu Yangyu stood up and helped Night Sorrow up with a smile. This is the betrothal gift. Night Sorrow took out the same betrothal gift that he had given when he went to the Sikong family to propose marriage. So formal. But that's good. I don't have any treasures. When the time comes, I still need to study your ninth senior sister's dowry. Also, when do you plan to hold the wedding? Let me know. Yu Yangyu nodded and accepted Night Sorrow's betrothal gift. At this time, everyone in the hall congratulated Night Sorrow and Yang Lei. They also congratulated Yu Yangyu because this was also a happy occasion for Yu Yangyu. After chatting for a while, the group went to the small building in the bamboo forest to drink tea. However, they did not stay quiet. People kept coming to visit Yu Yangyu. They were the elders and the peak lords of the various peaks. Yi Xiling also brought Tang Qianqian and Lin Jingyi to the small building in the bamboo forest. Valley Lord, our Medicine Valley has 12 peaks. But look at the situation of the Taixian Peak now. Gong Xian is at the 5th grade of the Void Inquiry stage, Wu Qi is at the 2nd grade of the Void Inquiry stage, Yang Lei is at the 5th grade of the Void Inquiry stage. Huan and the others are all at the Void Inquiry stage. Also, this Deputy Valley Lord who is not doing any work is already at the 8th grade of the Void Inquiry stage. This Taixian Peak alone is enough to defeat the other 11 peaks. Ziling, be quiet. There are some things that we can talk about slowly. Yan Beiji, who had been here for a while, said. When the peak lords of the various peaks learned that Yu Yangyu had returned, all of them came to visit him. You all also know that I have been in seclusion all this while. I have never cared about the matters of the sect, nor have I done any favoritism. Do you all admit this? Yu Yangyu looked at everyone and said. After hearing Yu Yangyu's words, the others could only nod their heads because it was the truth. No one could deny it. The Taixian Peak is strong. This is because of the good leadership of Gong Xian, Wu Qi, and the others. It is also because the disciples of the Taixian Peak have done well. This is also a fact, isn't it? Yu Yangyu once again threw out a sentence. Senior Marshal Brother, this won't do. If this continues, the Medicine Valley will be biased. The new disciples will only know about the Taixian Peak and not the other peaks. If this continues, things will get out of hand. Duan Lei said. I have taken in 13 good disciples. They are my pride. Now it seems that they are also my burden. Yu Yangyu smiled bitterly. We are not here to make things difficult for the Valley Master. We just want to change the situation. Otherwise, the other 11 peaks will not be able to survive. This is also not good for the Medicine Valley. Yan Beiji sighed and said. Uncle Masters, we have been working hard to cultivate and win glory for the Medicine Valley. My 13th junior martial brother has even helped the Medicine Valley build a reputation. This is not a sin, right? Yang Lei thought for a moment and said. She did not want to see Yu Yangyu in a difficult position. No, absolutely not. You are all good. 13th junior martial brother is the pride of the Medicine Valley. Everyone in the Medicine Valley knows this, and it will be recorded in the history books. Today, we are here to ask and see how to change the situation. Yi Xiling said. Now that Yang Lei's cultivation was the same as hers, and Yang Lei was also an elder, she could not speak with seniority. I also have a headache. Yu Yangyu knocked on the armrest of the chair. He did not know how to deal with it. He knew that the Medicine Valley was indeed like this at the moment. If this continued, it would become the Medicine Valley of the Taixian Peak. Deputy Valley Master Yi, don't you have any good ideas? Yi Xiling looked at Night Sorrow. After being called out by Yi Xiling, Night Sorrow was stunned for a moment and then said, Uncle Master Yi, please don't make fun of Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow has never cared about the matters of the Medicine Valley. He is young and ignorant, so he does not have any ideas, and he does not dare to have any ideas. Actually, we all know that the biggest reason for the change of the Taishan peak is you. It's just that we can't ask for anything from you, because the Medicine Valley owes you too much. Yi Xiling said. Uncle Master Yi, you are exaggerating. Night Sorrow cupped his hands and said. Chapter 574. Genius remembers love in 1 second/small. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. At this moment, Lin Jingyi's heart was filled with emotions. She felt that she had worked very hard and had also cultivated to the peak of the spirit-severing stage. This speed was definitely outstanding in the Medicine Valley in the past. But what about now? Compared to the disciples of Taishan Peak, her achievements were nothing. In addition, Lin Jingyi also heard some words that struck her hard. Night Sorrow was at the 8th grade of the Void Inquiry stage. She knew very well what kind of concept that was. In other words, other than the two venerated beings in the Medicine Valley, Night Sorrow was already standing at the highest level. Vice Valley Master Yi, please forgive me. Please forgive Lin Jingyi's ignorance back then. Lin Jingyi bowed towards Night Sorrow. Senior Sister Lin, you're overthinking it. It's not a big deal. Night Sorrow waved his hand and used his energy to help Lin Jingyi up. Love go little say ku, unity of heaven and man. Yen Beifong looked at Night Sorrow in surprise. Most v. New chapter section, Avabov 7th, the other peak masters were also stunned. All of their eyes were fixed on Night Sorrow. Their cultivation levels were not up to par, but their vision was still there. Night Sorrow's body did not move, nor did he release any energy. However, energy had appeared around Lin Jingyi. This was a fact. My 13th junior brother has already reached the unity of heaven and man realm. The only thing lacking is his cultivation base, Yang Lei said proudly. At this moment, the others didn't say anything. This was a very serious blow because it meant that Night Sorrow didn't have any bottlenecks when he entered the Exalt realm. It could be said that his path was smooth. Valley Master, I don't want to talk to them anymore. Let's talk about whether there are any good ideas to change the situation in the Medicine Valley. Yi Xiling said with a sigh. In the end, it's still a problem of resources. To be honest, the cultivation resources of my 13 disciples are all provided by 13. However, he alone can't provide for an entire sect. Besides, we don't have the face to do that. Yu Yangyu said. He had also reached the most important point. Yu Yangyu's words made everyone fall into deep thought because resources were the core of the problem. Master, I think we can start a pill business. This way, we can exchange pills for ingredients. The profit margin is huge. Then, the ingredients will be turned into pills. Sikong Chuyu said. First of all, the business needs to be done. But what about the capital and channels? Yen Beibei rubbed his head and said. Okay. What I can offer is a bottle of void pills and 3 bottles of clear void pills for each peak. As for how you arrange it, whether you use it for business or directly give it to your disciples, I don't care. Please don't make things difficult for my master and Taishan Peak in the future. I will give the pills to my master tomorrow. Night Sorrow will take his leave. Night Sorrow didn't want to be entangled. He directly cupped his hands to the people present and left Qingxin Courtyard with Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu. After Night Sorrow left, Aoi looked at the group of people and sighed. Peak Masters are all seniors. Today's matter was too difficult for them. Aoi's words made everyone's faces turn red because that was the truth. Valley Master, I'm sorry. This was not our original intention. We came to ask how we can change the situation in the Medicine Valley, but now we have nowhere to put our old faces. Love Go Little Say Network, Chuyuan Tai, who had been silent all this time, spoke up. That's it. I won't stop Night Sorrow from providing the resources, but now you have to develop yourselves. Wu Qi, Taishan Peak will participate in the Medicine Valley's disciple recruitment ceremony once every 3 years, Yu Yang said. This was also to give the other peaks a chance. Then the others left Qingxin Courtyard. What we did today was too disgusting. What is this called? Xue Qi, the peak master of Bailu Peak, said. If this continues, it will make people feel disgusted. Maybe Night Sorrow will be angry and not come back for a few years. In the future, he won't care about the Medicine Valley's business anymore. Jean Can, the peak master of Tianhua Peak, who was the best at scheming, said. Yes, we are a bit too much. This won't do. Let's forget about today. Tomorrow, we will gather early and go to Night Sorrow's place to solve this matter. Our intention was right, but we can't make people feel disgusted. Yi Xiling also nodded. Back at Bamboo Forest Peak, Night Sorrow began to organize the pills and ingredients. He had promised to do it, so he had to do it. Fortunately, Night Sorrow had entered the special space several times and accumulated a lot of ingredients. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to handle taking out pills like this. Yishang tidied up the materials and then refined them all into pills. After counting, Night Sorrow realized that he only had a few bottles of pills left after giving the 11 peaks all the pills and resources. Sigh. There are a lot of level 4 pills, but there aren't many level 5 pills. Fortunately, we still have enough. In the future, we still have to get more ingredients. Senior brother and senior sister have enough pills, but I still have to take care of the god-slaying team, Night Sorrow said. 13. I am a little angry. What are they doing? Are they trying to squeeze you dry? Yang Lei said angrily. Ninth senior sister, you are overthinking. They are doing this for the sake of Medicine Valley. Their intention is not wrong. Also, I am providing the resources for no other reason than to not put Master in a difficult position. Anyway, the 3 of us don't lack any resources. I also left enough for senior brother and senior sister, so I won't be calculative about this, Night Sorrow said, explaining the reason why he was willing to take on this matter. Okay, I understand. Yang Lei nodded. After putting away the alchemy furnace, the 3 of them went into the bamboo house to rest. Returning to Bamboo Forest Peak was the most relaxing time for them. Early in the morning, when Night Sorrow was practicing his spear techniques, the various peak masters of Medicine Valley clustered around Yu Yangyu. You guys are really early. Don't worry, my junior brother will definitely do what he promised. Looking at the group of people, Yang Lei was angry. Elder Yang, you misunderstood. We are not here to ask for the pills. Yesterday's matter was our fault. Not only did we not help Night Sorrow, we even squeezed Night Sorrow dry. This is not right. Today, we are here to apologize. Yen Beibei and the others bowed to Night Sorrow. Martial Uncle Yen, you are too serious. What I can do is limited. However, I will do what I can. Last night, I boiled for a while and refined all the materials into pills. I did not break my promise to you martial uncles. Night Sorrow took out his storage belt and placed it on the table in front of him. 13. There may be a misunderstanding. The peak masters just want to change the situation. They are not trying to make things difficult for Master, nor are they trying to ask for resources, Yu Yangyu said. Then, Disciple will also contribute these pills to the sect. As for the sect's arrangement, Disciple will not care. Night Sorrow said. What do you guys think? Yu Yangyu looked at the peak masters and asked. We can't take advantage of this. How about this? 13. We should call you Deputy Valley Master. Deputy Valley Master has a lot of connections outside. Let's see if you can promote the pill business of our Medicine Valley. This way, it will be easier for our Medicine Valley to develop. Our peaks have also discussed and agreed to do this resource business together. Yi Xiling said. Okay, I will go back and talk to my friends. This should not be a problem. It is a win-win situation. Knight Sorrow nodded. He was satisfied with the attitude of the peak masters today. Chapter 575. A genius remembers love in 1 second. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Then, everyone began to discuss the expansion of Medicine Valley's resources. In the end, it was decided that Yi Xiling would follow Knight Sorrow with the representatives of the disciples from each peak to open up the resource route in the Medicine Valley. She was a woman, so she had more advantages in communicating with others. After the discussion was over, those who were supposed to leave left. No one wanted to accept Knight Sorrow's pills, but Knight Sorrow insisted on giving them. They only accepted half of the money to expand their resources. This way, Knight Sorrow still had enough pills. Originally, everyone didn't want Knight Sorrow's medicinal resources, but the average medicinal pills weren't that valuable. Only the Tier 5 medicinal pills were valuable, so it was worth the trade. After the marriage proposal was settled, Knight Sorrow planned to leave. The main reason was that the expansion of the Medicine Valley's resources was urgent. Yi Xiling brought Lin Jingyi along. She left the matter of crepe myrtle to her eldest disciple, Tang Qianqian. Yi Xiling brought Lin Jingyi along to broaden her horizons. After all, Lin Jingyi was crepe myrtle's most outstanding disciple. Traveling with Knight Sorrow, Lin Jingyi felt a little awkward. After all, she had hurt Knight Sorrow before. To put it bluntly, she didn't like Knight Sorrow. But Lin Jingyi knew in her heart that it wasn't like that at all. She hadn't rejected him back then, but had considered it. There was also a woman's modesty in it. In addition, the conflict had arisen because Yi Shang had never taken a liking to her. Baidu search AI go female sign shao say www.aichuxs. COM taking the teleportation array, the group arrived at Dongxian City. Knight Sorrow brought the group to Qingxin Cottage. After finishing the welcoming banquet, Knight Sorrow brought everyone for a stroll around the mansion. They were also going to meet up with the god-slaying squad. Because in the previous Tianji Tower team, there were disciples of Holy Light Religion, Thunder Rumbling School, and Southern Dipper School. Medicine Valley could cooperate with the three parties. After Knight Sorrow's arrival, the members of the god-slaying team, who were in the midst of cultivation, quickly gathered up and greeted Knight Sorrow. Everyone, be at ease. I'm just here to take a look. Liyue, do you guys have enough resources? Knight Sorrow said after waving his hand. Captain, don't worry. We have enough resources. Nan Liyue nodded. You guys, come with me. I have something I need your help with, Knight Sorrow called out to the original members of Tianji Tower. Then, Knight Sorrow made tea and told them about his request for help. Captain, you're in the wrong here. What kind of help is this? I'll go back and tell the sect to arrange a shop for you in the best location in Holy Light City, Ho Jian said. Captain, since you've asked, then there's definitely no problem. I'll go back and talk to the law enforcement elder later to make arrangements for you guys in Thunder City, Lei Bao said. Nan Liyue also expressed that there was no problem. I'll make a trip to the Star Cloud sect. As for the Scarlet Cloud sect and the Free and Unfettered sect, forget it. I'm not familiar with them, so I won't stick my hot face to their cold asses, Knight Sorrow said. Then, Ho Jian and the others brought the representatives of the disciples of the Medicine Valley back to their respective sections. Marshal Uncle Yi, let's go to the Star Cloud sect and see if they'll give us face. Knight Sorrow said. Then, Knight Sorrow brought Yi Xiling and Lin Jingyi to the Star Cloud sect through teleportation. After Knight Sorrow reported his name, the sect master of the Star Cloud sect, Zhao Xinguan, personally received him. After Night Sorrow told him his idea, Zhao Xiangguan agreed very much. He even said that he would find the best shop for the Medicine Valley in Star Cloud City. The Star Cloud sect had suffered heavy losses in the last Dark Creature disaster. If they wanted to recover, elixir resources were indispensable. The Medicine Valley was best at alchemy. After talking for a while, Night Sorrow brought Yi Xiling and Lin Jingyi back to the Qingxin courtyard in Dongxian City. Marshal Uncle Yi, the situation is going well. Also, it's not difficult to get the elixir business in the Qingtian region's Bailing City. I went to the Xikong family to propose marriage some time ago, so we're relatives there, Night Sorrow said as he walked in front. Then when will we go there? Yi Xiling was very excited because the trip to the Star Cloud sect with Night Sorrow went very smoothly. She was looking forward to what was to come next. Night Sorrow doesn't need to take this. This is my family's identity token. Marshal Uncle Yi can take this token to the Xikong family to find my father. This is a mutually beneficial cooperation. My father won't object. Xikong Chuyu, who came out to greet them, took out an identity token and handed it to Yi Xiling. Plus with head/hair X, great, this is really great. Yi Xiling was very excited. If this went on, the Medicine Valley's resource business could be done. In that case, the Medicine Valley wouldn't lack elixir resources in the future, and it would be much easier to develop. Night Sorrow, when you have time, you can talk to City Lord Tai Shu. It's not a problem for the Medicine Valley's elixir business to expand to the North Sea region, Xikong Chuyu reminded Night Sorrow. It's not suitable for the time being because the Medicine Valley doesn't have such a large foundation of resources. It has to be operated for a while first. Night Sorrow shook his head. Who's City Lord Tai Shu? Lin Jingyi asked curiously. The City Lord of Beihai City in the North Sea region. She's the #1 figure in the North Sea region. If she asks, it won't be a problem for the Medicine Valley's elixirs to enter the North Sea region. A furnace of elixirs in exchange for 3 times the amount of information. This business is too profitable, Xikong Chuyu said. 13th. Deputy Valley Lord, you know the City Lord of Beihai City? Yi Xiling asked excitedly. Yes, I call her Marshal Uncle. Night Sorrow nodded. You've already made a name for yourself in just a few years. Yi Xiling said with a sigh. However, Marshal Uncle, you're going to have to work hard. After the Medicine Valley's business opens, the supply of elixirs must not be out of stock. The quality must also be acceptable. Don't let it affect our reputation, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Don't worry about that. Even if the disciples of the Medicine Valley don't eat elixirs for a few months, Marshal Uncle will still expand this business, Yi Xiling said with great confidence. I forgot one thing. I forgot to go to Pilding Cliff when I went back this time. Night Sorrow rubbed his head and said. Originally, Night Sorrow planned to go to Pilding Cliff. However, he forgot about it because he was too anxious to find a way out for the 11 peaks of the Medicine Valley. You have to pay attention to this matter. You must go there before you reach the peak of the Void Inquiry stage. This is your chance and also the Medicine Valley's only chance right now, Yi Xiling said. She knew that Hua Yunpeng and the Great Elder attached great importance to this matter. I understand. Marshal Uncle Yi, please go and have a rest. I reckon that the Sacred Light sect, the Thunder Rumbling sect and the Southern Dipper sect will have to wait for news. They haven't returned for a long time. Once they return, they will need at least 2 to 3 days to communicate with their seniors. Night Sorrow said to Yi Xiling. After nodding at Night Sorrow, Yi Xiling brought Lin Jingyi to the guest room. Master, Deputy Valley Lord Yi has already reached such a high level that he can get to know the City Lord of the Royal City. Lin Jingyi still had not recovered from the shock. Yes. He has been fighting outside for the past few years and has already made a name for himself. It's been hard on him. In fact, he's still a child. Yi Xiling sighed with emotion. Chapter 576. Geniuses remember love in 1 second. We provide you with interesting novels to read. Yes. Vice Valley Master Yi is currently at the Venerable Realm. Yi Xiling nodded. Isn't it said that cultivation levels are the hardest to cultivate? Many void inquiry stage cultivators have been stuck at the peak of the void inquiry stage for countless years because their cultivation base was not high enough. Why can't they touch the threshold of the Venerable Realm? Why did his cultivation base reach the Venerable Realm before his cultivation base? Lin Jingyi's face was filled with bewilderment because this had overturned her view of cultivation. That's the common sense. However, some people, or rather, some geniuses and extraordinary talents, cannot be judged as ordinary people. Vice Valley Master Knight Sorrow is such a person. It won't be long before he becomes a Venerable Realm cultivator. Moreover, he will be a Venerable Realm cultivator with a title in the future. Yi Xiling said. Venerable Realm cultivator with a title. What does that mean? Lin Jingyi asked in confusion. Venerable Realm cultivators are rare, but there are still some who can reach it. There aren't many Venerable Realm cultivators in our Eastern Xian region, but there are still many in the other regions. Venerable Realm cultivators with extremely strong combat power will be given a title. In the ancient times, there was a heaven-sealing palace in the vast heaven imperial city of our 9 regions world. Cultivators with strength will be given a title if they are recognized by the heaven-sealing palace. Although the heaven-sealing palace and vast heaven imperial city have disappeared together, this tradition still exists. It's just that they need to be recognized by cultivators. This is something that Vice Valley Master Yi can achieve because he has always had the combat power to fight above his level and realm. Yi Xiling explained some unknown stories to Lin Jingyi. Master, I also want to work hard. However, I can't understand his path. Lin Jingyi said in a low voice. How many people can understand his path? I can't do it either. Today, we saw the team under his command. There are nearly 40 people in the team and only 2 of them are not at the void inquiry stage. With such strength, they can easily defeat any sect in the Eastern Xian region without the interference of Venerable Realm cultivators. Judging from the qi on their bodies, they are all people who have walked out from slaughter. Sigh. Back then, I already knew that he wasn't an ordinary person, but I still underestimated him. There were some things that I didn't predict, Yi Xiling said with some regret. Ever since the first time she had seen Night Sorrow, Yi Xiling had spared no effort in trying to pull Night Sorrow to crepe myrtle. She had done so because she felt that Night Sorrow would have a bright future. But she had never imagined that in just a few years, Night Sorrow had already made such great achievements. His influence had already spread throughout the Eastern Xian region. 2 days later, Ho Jian and the others returned. The matter had been handled very smoothly. The other great sects did not have any objections. In fact, they were all in agreement. Medicinal pills were the most important resource in any force. Every force had their own pill refinement masters. However, because they did not have any pill refinement inheritance, they could only refine low-grade medicinal pills. There were almost no pill refinement masters who could refine 5th-grade medicinal pills. If they needed high-grade medicinal pills, they would have to travel hundreds of thousands of li to Eastern Xian City with the materials to exchange for them with pill refinement masters. Some even had to cross the domain sea to trade with other regions. Now that the Medicine Valley wanted to expand its medicinal pill business, it was a win-win situation. No one would object. Everyone ate dinner together. Lin Jingyi and the other disciples of the Medicine Valley were a little reserved. The Medicine Valley that they had stayed in before was still a little small. This time, they came out to broaden their horizons. Night Sorrow poured Yi Xiling a cup of wine and said, "Martial Uncle Yi, you don't have to worry about the expansion of the Medicine Valley's medicinal pill business. What we need to consider is how to do it well. If we can make some connections in the Eastern Xian realm, I'll talk to the people in the North Sea. I think we can expand our medicinal pill business into the North Sea. Besides, I have some connections in the realm of unbounded desolation. It shouldn't be a problem for me to make a trip there. Yi Xialing's hand, which was holding the cup of wine, trembled slightly. You know people in the realm of unbounded desolation? Knight Sorrow nodded and said, yeah. I met the governor of Grand Desolation City some time ago. The governor of Roaring Tiger City is a forthright person. He even invited me to have a drink with him in the realm of unbounded desolation. As long as we don't harm the interests of the realm of unbounded desolation, I don't think he'll object. Yi Xialing felt a little numb. The strength of Knight Sorrow's network had already exceeded her expectations. After drinking the wine, Knight Sorrow went to cultivate. Now that his network had been established, there was nothing for him to do. Besides, he didn't have the energy to deal with these things. Yi Xialing left with the disciples of the Medicine Valley. Now that their network had been established, the Medicine Valley would have to act quickly. Now that all the major forces had given them face, it would be up to the Medicine Valley to decide how to do their business. Yi Shan cultivated diligently every day. Occasionally, he would help Yang Lei give pointers to her disciples. Other than that, he would communicate with the members of the God-slaying squad. Ho Qingjie had already reached the peak of the spirit-severing stage. Yi Shan knew that the average cultivation of the God-slaying squad had stimulated him. He was also arrogant. Back then, he was slightly weaker than Lei Bao and Lei Jing. It was normal for him to catch up. Qingjie, be steady. The fifth stage is a dividing line. It's better to be steady. We're all brothers. No one cares about the level of your cultivation base, Knight Sorrow reminded Ho Qingjie. Thank you, Captain. Lei Bao told me about this when we were drinking. I was a little impatient in the past. Ho Qingjie gave Lei Bao a thumbs up. Knight Sorrow looked at Qin Jin. I'm not just saying this to Qingjie. I'm also saying this to you. Although it's important to improve your cultivation base quickly, you have to be steady. I don't want any problems to happen to you. Qin Jin smiled and nodded at Knight Sorrow. There were more brothers around him and more people to chat with. Qin Jin was much more cheerful. Captain, Qin Jin is no longer a taciturn person. He also knows how to chat with everyone, Ho Jian said with a smile. Then I'm relieved. Qin Jin, you're the youngest in the team. If you have any questions, just let us know, Knight Sorrow said again and left. Actually, I'm about the same age as Captain. It's hard to say who's older, but in my heart, he's my 13th brother, Qin Jin said as he looked in the direction Knight Sorrow left. Ho Jian patted Qin Jin's shoulder. He knew how close Knight Sorrow and Qin Jin were. Back then, Qin Jin was willing to stand up for Knight Sorrow and face his cousin together. This was very heartwarming for the young and lonely Knight Sorrow. Sometimes, things didn't need to be big. As long as it was heartwarming, he would never forget it for the rest of his life. Read novels for free. Knight Sorrow also took extra care of Qin Jin. As the years passed, their brotherhood would only grow deeper. Hee hee. Age doesn't matter. We're much older than Captain. Isn't Captain the one taking care of us? Xue Ling said as he walked over. Vice Captain, did you know that the other Bloodstrike guards have been mobilized? It seems like they're preparing for the sector war. However, it has nothing to do with us, Xue Fei said. Why are you so excited? How can there be a battle without us? It's true that we used to be a reserve team, but who dares to treat us like that now? Besides, don't mention this in the future. We're the God-slaying team. Our missions are only given by Captain. We're not in the same battle order as the others, Xueling said as he looked at Xuefei. Chapter 577. Genius 1 second. Remember love, go little. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Don't worry. Our mission is more important than theirs. They are just guarding their territory. We are conquering the world. The purpose of our existence is to make the Eastern Xian domain famous with our captain. Xueling said. Let's go, Xueling said. Night Sorrow cultivated for a few days and met the people from the Medicine Valley again. This time, there were more people from the Medicine Valley. Yu Yangyu and several peak masters were there. Yu Yangyu came to see how his disciples were doing. The other peak masters came with resources and spirit stones. They wanted to expand the Medicine Valley's business. After Yi Shang held a banquet to entertain the guests, the peak masters left to deal with the resource expansion business. Master, what about our Taishan Peak? Taishan Peak also needs resources. 13 only cares about us. What about the other disciples? Yang Lei asked anxiously. It doesn't matter. They have already discussed it. Taishan Peak doesn't need to worry. The resources earned from the resource expansion will be divided equally among the 12 peaks, Yu Yangyu said with a smile. Night Sorrow and Yang Lei were relieved. Taishan Peak was what they cared about the most, so they were afraid that the Taishan Peak would suffer losses. 13, I came to see you. I am relieved to see that you are doing well, Yu Yangyu said after looking at Night Sorrow's mansion. Master, I am not a child anymore. I have grown up. You don't have to worry about me, Night Sorrow said as he poured a cup of tea for Yu Yangyu. Even if you have become a saint, you are still a child in my eyes. I still have to worry about you, Yu Yangyu said. Night Sorrow nodded. He understood the feelings in Yu Yangyu's heart. It was a master-disciple relationship that he could never let go of. Also, you have to make a trip to Danding Cliff as soon as possible. Your current level is enough. Don't lose the chance to own the 8-dragon cauldron if you accidentally break through one day, Yu Yangyu reminded Night Sorrow. Master, actually, 13 doesn't need the 8-dragon cauldron to recognize him as its master anymore. He now has the #1 spiritual treasure of the Qingtian domain to protect him. He plans to go to Danding Cliff to communicate with the 8-dragon cauldron for the sake of the Medicine Valley, Yang Lei said. After that, Yang Lei told him about Night Sorrow's situation and everything that had happened recently. Yu Yangyu thought for a moment and said to Night Sorrow, so that's how it is. You still have to go. It's not a burden to have too many treasures. Master, I don't need it. I'll see if I can communicate with the artifact spirit and let it recognize you as its master so that it can contribute to the Medicine Valley, Night Sorrow said. That's difficult. Spiritual treasures with artifact spirits are all arrogant. It will only recognize people who it thinks can help it rise and not let it down. In addition, spiritual treasures with artifact spirits cannot be transferred, Yu Yangyu said. Soon after, Night Sorrow also received a message from Shao Kong. The truth was that the artifact spirit would only recognize those who didn't disgrace them. Others wouldn't have this opportunity. If they wanted to forcefully convert the artifact spirit, they would have to kill the artifact spirit's intelligence, which was equivalent to destroying a high-grade spirit treasure. Then I'll go back and communicate with the 8-dragon cauldron first, Night Sorrow said. That's fine. Yu Yangyu nodded. He liked Night Sorrow's state of mind that was not affected by external things. After chatting for a while, Night Sorrow went to cultivate. He did not have any bottlenecks when he entered the Venerable Realm. The only thing he lacked was cultivation and time to accumulate cultivation. Ninth brother, your 13th brother is good at everything, but he's simple-minded. You have to help him check. Take the 8-dragon cauldron for example. What's wrong with getting it? Sometimes, such persistence is unnecessary, Yu Yongyu said as he watched Night Sorrow leave. Master, 13 is sometimes stubborn. He has his own persistence in his heart. This doesn't make sense, Yang Lei said. That's true. This is his character. It's an advantage in human nature, but it's also easy for him to be taken advantage of, Yu Yongyu said as he shook his head. Perhaps it's because of this that his heart is not stained by a trace of dust. This is also the reason why his state of mind is clear. This is also quite good, Yang Lei said. There are no flaws in human nature. He can stand upright at any time and be worthy of heaven and earth. Then let's not talk about it. Let nature take its course. Yu Yongyu said after thinking for a while. Master, don't worry. 13 is quite suitable for adventuring outside. His mind is pure, but he's not stupid, Yang Lei said with a smile. If he's stupid, can you approve of him? Yu Yongyu said with a smile. After cultivating the foundation for an entire night, Night Sorrow woke up early to cultivate his spear technique. Although he already had the realm, if he did not cultivate his spear technique for a day, Night Sorrow would feel that something was missing and would feel uncomfortable all over. Forever Free, read #novels. MPU Yongyu could not give Night Sorrow any pointers at the moment. He could only watch from the side and chat with Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu. Now, Yu Yongyu felt that his life was perfect. The Medicine Valley was already on the right track and had entered the ranks of the super forces in Eastern Profound Domain. As for himself, he had also entered the ranks of the high-level cultivators. The most important thing was that each of his 13 disciples had done well. Yu Yongyu nodded as he looked at Night Sorrow, who had finished cultivating his spear technique and walked over. 13. After listening to your eldest senior brother's introduction, your 12th senior brother is very interested in your team. He said that he will look for you after he reaches the 5th stage and wants to join your team, Yu Yongyu said as he looked at Night Sorrow. That's not very appropriate. Night Sorrow shook his head, feeling a little awkward. The God-slaying team was currently carrying out his orders. If Guan Yi came, Night Sorrow would feel uncomfortable commanding them. After all, seniority was seniority. It was not appropriate for a junior to command a senior. Master understands your concerns. This matter will indeed cause you trouble. Master is just asking. Let's talk about it later. Yu Yongyu said after thinking for a moment. Yu Yongyu thought for a moment and understood the reason. If Guan Yi, as a senior, joined Night Sorrow's team, Night Sorrow would feel uncomfortable commanding them. After all, he was different from Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu. Master, this won't be too difficult, right? I'll talk to 12 when the time comes, Yang Lei said. It's fine. If he joins the team, 13 will have to take care of him and stand in front of him. But for Master, both are important, Yu Yongyu said. That was the truth. Guan Yi had fallen once, so neither Yang Lei nor Night Sorrow would let anything happen to him again. The consequences would be Night Sorrow and Yang Lei bearing the risk. Yu Yongyu stayed in Qingxin Cottage for a few days until the Peak Masters returned from their errands. Then, he led a group of people back to Medicine Valley. After seeing off Yu Yongyu and the people from Medicine Valley, Night Sorrow sat down and thought quietly. He was considering whether he should follow Yu Yongyu's suggestion and return to Medicine Valley to take a look at Danding Cliff or go to the Realm Sea to take a look at the situation there. After thinking for a while, Night Sorrow decided to go to the Realm Sea first to take a look at the situation there. The matter at Danding Cliff was not urgent. Chapter 578. Genius 1 second. Remember Love Go divided by Shao. Shuanet provides you with wonderful novels to read. Since he could use the teleportation array, it was very convenient for Night Sorrow to move around. After 15 minutes, Night Sorrow walked out of West Sea City's teleportation array. Baidu search Love Go female sign Shao Shua www. A.I.Q.X. So I'm riding on the Tianyu. Night Sorrow arrived at the battlefield in the Realm Sea. Looking at the solemn but orderly camp, Night Sorrow didn't stop. He directly went to the mountain where Wu Lingfei and Lin Yuandao were cultivating. Night Sorrow saw Wu Lingfei, Lin Yuandao, and Hua Haining. Ling Long was also there. "You're here." Wu Lingfei nodded. Aunt Fei, Lord Kei, Elder Hua, Senior Sister Ling Long, Night Sorrow greeted them. "Night Sorrow, you're here. I have something to tell you." Baidu search love go female sign xiao shua www.aiqx.com, Wu Lingfei said. Then Wu Lingfei told Night Sorrow that Guo had broken through and was stabilizing his cultivation. Lutrin Swan was currently using the Source Stone. "Night Sorrow, you've brought a new era to Tianji Tower," Hua Haining said. "Elder Hua, I'm very sorry." Night Sorrow bowed to Hua Haining in embarrassment. He had helped a few people from Tianji Tower, but he hadn't helped Hua Haining. "What are you saying? Tianji Tower being strong is better than anything else. Also, you should go to Heaven Vault Mountain when you have time and let those elders get to know you," Hua Haining said. Night Sorrow nodded. Director Gua has successfully broken through. If Elderly can also break through, the situation will change. That's why we're not afraid of stalling for time. Also, Ling Long wants to join your god-slaying squad. What do you think? Wu Lingfei asked Night Sorrow. "No, the god-slaying team is a team from our Eastern Xian region. Senior Sister Ling Long has nothing to do with it," Night Sorrow rejected without hesitation. "Isn't it good for everyone to fight side by side?" Exquisite asked, frowning at Night Sorrow. "Not good. Everyone has different ideals. If Tianji Tower needs me, I will do my best to do it. At other times, I am a member of the Eastern Xian region. The dream of our god-slaying team is to conquer the world and let everyone know that there is a Eastern Xian region in the 9 regions and 18 prefectures. This idea has nothing to do with you." Night Sorrow's rejection was resolute and decisive, leaving no room for negotiation. Lin Yuandao and Hua Haining were stunned for a moment. They shook their heads and didn't say anything. They could tell that Night Sorrow wouldn't back down. "Can't I help you fight?" Exquisite asked. "No. Right now, the Eastern Xian region is weak, but that's only for now. I believe that as time passes, this will change. There is no need for others to help you with what you can do yourself." Baidu search love go xiao shua www.aiqx.com, Night Sorrow said. "Can I fight for the Eastern Xian region in the future? Are you deliberately trying to make life difficult for me?" Yishan's repeated rejection made Exquisite's anger rise. "Night Sorrow, you should reconsider this matter. In any case, the focus of our Tianji Tower will be in the Eastern Xian region in the future. It's not bad for the two of you to fight side by side," Hua Haining said with a smile. "The god-slaying team has already been formed. If Senior Sister Ling Long wants to join, it will be very difficult for me to deal with it. It will cause a lot of trouble," Night Sorrow said, somewhat conflicted. "Ling Long, Night Sorrow is the commander of that team, and he leads it very well. If you join, it will indeed cause some inconvenience for Night Sorrow," Lin Yuandao said. "I want to join, but I don't want to be the captain. I will just be like an ordinary member. I will do what others do." Exquisite bowed to Lin Yuandao. "Night Sorrow, what do you think?" Lin Yuandao looked at Night Sorrow and asked. "I want to be responsible for my brothers and sisters. When we are in battle, if a brother is in danger, the other brothers will not hesitate to block the blade. If Senior Sister Ling Long can do it, then I welcome you. If not, then sorry, there is no room for discussion," Night Sorrow said. "Ling Long, think about it again. This is not a joke, Wu Lingfei said. Master Wu Kei, Linglong has thought it through. Linglong likes the atmosphere of the god-slaying team. With such a group of brothers, Linglong will not be lonely in this life. Linglong does not want to give up such an opportunity. Linglong bowed to Wu Lingfei. Then Night Sorrow welcomed senior sister Linglong on behalf of the god-slaying team. Hearing Linglong's words, Night Sorrow's heart was touched because Linglong wanted a partner to fight side by side. This was understandable. Thank you, junior brother Night. Linglong nodded to Night Sorrow. There is another news for the two of you. There is another member from the Taiching domain who passed the Heavens 5-star test. When he becomes the Heavens Terminus envoy, you will have another partner, Hua Haining said with a smile. This is a good thing. Our Tianji Tower needs outstanding young people, Wu Lingfei said. I don't believe there is a young man more outstanding than junior brother Night, Linglong said. Senior sister Linglong, please don't say that. There is always someone better than you. Night Sorrow hurriedly shook his head. Junior brother is really modest, but what you said makes sense. Linglong nodded. Night Sorrow, this is the opinion of the predecessors. What you need to do is to reach the top of the mountain. Lin Yuandao said. He planned to let Night Sorrow become the young master, so he didn't want Night Sorrow to lose his momentum. Look at the original chapter T, section $A3-. I've never thought about reaching the top of the mountain, but no matter how high the mountain is, I will climb it. No matter how high the mountain is, there will always be someone who can climb it. Night Sorrow spoke his thoughts. Ha! Well said. Hua Haining clapped his hands. He liked Night Sorrow's spirit of never giving up. All right then, there is nothing for the two of you to do here. Go back to the Eastern Xian domain and cultivate. Wu Lingfei said. Linglong, after you go there, take care of yourself. Don't make things difficult for your junior brother Night. Lin Yuandao reminded Linglong. Don't worry, K-Master. Linglong will take care of herself and won't make things difficult for junior brother Night. Linglong bowed to Lin Yuandao and the others. Following that, Night Sorrow left the Realm Sea battlefield with Linglong. Junior brother Night, I feel that you are somewhat rejecting me. Can you tell me why? I know that it is definitely not because we are both celestial extremity emissaries, but because we are competitors. If you don't care about this position, then I don't care either. Linglong asked while riding her mount. It's not rejection, but because I don't understand. That's why I don't want to communicate with you. Now that I understand you, there won't be such a situation in the future. Night Sorrow said. You don't understand my situation. I come from a large family, but due to some special reasons, I don't have any friends. So I yearn to be like you, to have brothers and friends who can share my burden. What others can do for me, I can do the same. Linglong said. Chapter 579. Genius 1 second. Remember love divided by go divided by little. I'll provide you with interesting novels to read. I'm relieved to hear that. You've truly accepted me. Exquisite opened her mouth and said. Let's go, Exquisite said. You're reading on novel full thanks. I'm not a hypocrite, and I don't say things that go against my heart. Things are what they are, Night Sorrow said with a smile. That's why I admire you, junior brother, Exquisite said with a smile. As they chatted, the two returned to the Eastern Xian region and arrived at Qingxin Villa. Senior sister, why don't you go back and rest first? I'll take you there later. Night Sorrow asked Exquisite after entering Qingxin Villa. I don't want to live alone anymore. Since I've joined the god-slaying squad, I hope to be like them. Only then can they receive me sincerely. I also hope to gain their recognition through my own efforts. Love go little say, Chu, Linglong said. Haha. That's good too. Their living conditions are pretty good. Night Sorrow smiled and brought Exquisite to the resting and cultivating area of the God-slaying squad. Clapping his hands, Night Sorrow gathered the members of the God-slaying squad who were cultivating. Night Sorrow directly said that Exquisite wanted to join the God-slaying squad, but he didn't mention her identity. That would make the members of the God-slaying squad feel unapproachable. Exquisite then stood up and expressed that she was willing to do anything for her brother. She was willing to take a blow for him. Liyue, Exquisite is a woman and has just joined the squad. There are a lot of things that she's not familiar with. Can you help her make arrangements? Night Sorrow called out to Nan Liyue. Exquisite, how old are you? Are you an older or younger sister? What's your cultivation? Nan Liyue asked with a smile. Beauty Exquisite, do you have a boyfriend? Lei Jing asked with a grin. I don't have a boyfriend, but if you want to be my boyfriend, your cultivation must surpass mine and your combat strength must be higher than mine. Brother, you have to work hard, Exquisite said to Lei Jing. I like women who have their own ideas. Then let me ask you, Exquisite, what's your cultivation? Lei Jing asked. I don't want to discourage you, but you don't stand a chance. Work hard. If you work hard, it will be easier for you to pursue other girls in the future, Linglong said with a smile. Ha, I have a big heart. Everyone in the God-slaying squad knows that. You won't be able to hurt me, Lei Jing said with a laugh. Little brother, you have to change your target. Pretty boys aren't my cup of tea. Liyue, bring me to a place to stay. Exquisite waved at Lei Jing before she called Nan Liyue and left. Gigolo. I'm a gigolo. Captain's face is much paler than mine. Lei Jing rubbed his nose and said. These sisters used to be Captain's friends. They are very strong. I can't even see their cultivation bases. So, you should take it easy, Ho Jian said, patting Lei Jing's shoulder. Vice Captain, you are a third-level void inquiry stage expert. Can't you see it? Isn't that at least the 7th level of the void inquiry stage? Holy shit! He's a great expert. Lei Jing exclaimed in shock. Do you think our deicide squad is a pig farm? Even a captain? Lei Bao asked. Let's not talk about this anymore. I'm going to cultivate. Lei Jing took a deep breath and said. He was joking with Linglong, but he was also shocked by Exquisite's cultivation base. Back in the backyard, Night Sorrow drank tea while telling the two girls about Exquisite's situation. He also told them about Exquisite's attitude and personality. We'll go say hello later. Since we've accepted her, we should act like it, Yang Lei said. After dinner, Night Sorrow brought the two girls to the God-slaying squad's cultivation area. The two girls went to chat with Exquisite and Nan Liyue. Night Sorrow communicated with Ho Jian and the others. Night Sorrow also told Ho Jian and Xueling that he would be away for a few days. Ho Jian and Xueling had also gotten used to such situations because they knew that Night Sorrow had a lot of things to deal with. Also, ask the brothers who want to go home and see if there are any difficulties in their families. If any of them are in trouble, we will help them to solve it so that they don't have to worry about anything. Night Sorrow said to Ho Jian and Xueling, We've neglected that. Ho Jian said with slight embarrassment. It's nothing. Just deal with it well. Also, if any of you have any juniors in your families that you're worried about, make arrangements for them. Rely on our connections, we'll recommend them to your respective sections. Night Sorrow said. After giving the instructions, Night Sorrow did not wait for the two girls. He went back to the backyard and played with Tianyu and the silver fox. Tianyu had already reached the 6th level of the Void Inquiry stage while the silver fox had also reached the 7th level of the Divine Severing Realm. Night Sorrow was quite envious of them because they could improve their cultivation bases while playing and sleeping. Night Sorrow played with the two beasts for a while. When he was making tea, Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu came back. S5 original/C version U, how is it? Is Exquisite doing well over there? Night Sorrow asked. She's very adaptable. She's not a flower vase. She's quite good. Sikong Chuyu said with a smile. I'm going back to the Medicine Valley to Pill Cauldron Cliff tomorrow. The two of you should communicate more with the members of the God-slaying team. Night Sorrow said to the two girls. Then we won't go back with you. We really need to integrate into the team. Otherwise, everyone will only see us as the leader's women instead of teammates who can fight side by side. Yang Lei nodded. After that, Night Sorrow pulled the two girls into the main building. One night passed. Night Sorrow glanced at Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu who were meditating. Then, he went out of the room and rode Tianyu to the teleportation formation. Sitting in the teleportation formation, they arrived at Pill Cauldron City. After taking a look at the Golden Flame Palace, Night Sorrow rode Tianyu directly to Pill Cauldron Peak. This time, he did not plan to disturb anyone. He just wanted to go to Pill Cauldron Cliff and try to communicate with the weapon spirit of the 8-Dragon Cauldron. Seeing Night Sorrow's arrival, Elder Su was very happy. Night Sorrow let Tianyu play at the side while he drank with Elder Su. After drinking a jar of wine, Night Sorrow was about to start climbing the cliff. Wait. Are you going to reach the highest height now? Elder Su looked at Night Sorrow and asked. Yes, I'm going to try. Night Sorrow did not hide it from Elder Su. Then, Elder Su let out a long whistle and told all the Medicine Valley disciples on Pill Cauldron Cliff to come down. In addition, no one was allowed to climb the cliff. After a while, all the Medicine Valley disciples on Pill Cauldron Cliff came down. Pill Cauldron Cliff had been cleared. You can start now, Elder Su said to Night Sorrow seriously. Sorry to disturb everyone. Night Sorrow turned around and cupped his hands to the Medicine Valley disciples. Then, Night Sorrow began to climb the cliff. In the past, he used to climb the cliff with both his hands and feet. But now, he did not need to. Every time he exerted force on his feet, he rushed a few feet high. It was considered flying, not climbing. Elder, who is this person? Who climbs Pill Cauldron Cliff like this? A disciple who had joined the sect for 2 years asked. Chapter 580. Genius 1 second. Remember love go/little. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. He's so young. I can't see his cultivation level, a female disciple from the Medicine Valley said. At this moment, a group of disciples from the Medicine Valley were discussing Night Sorrow's ascent of Danding Cliff. You're not the only one who can't see clearly. I can't see clearly either. The two of you are from the enforcement team, right? Guard this place and don't allow anyone to climb the cliff. The rest of you, follow me to the opposite scenic mountain. We might witness a miracle today. Elder Su instructed the two enforcement disciples and asked a few people to inform the peak masters to come to Danding Cliff. Then, he walked towards Scenic Mountain. At this moment, Night Sorrow's feet were several feet high as he rushed towards the top of Danding Cliff. 2,000 meters, 3,000 meters. Night Sorrow quickly flew and reached 5,000 meters. After drinking a mouthful of wine at 5,000 meters, Night Sorrow carried the wine jar and continued to climb. Elder Su, does our Medicine Valley have such a young disciple who can reach 5,000 meters without resting and continue climbing? A male disciple with a fuller body asked. Chang Quan, you're very outstanding. You entered the elixir list after 3 years. You should know a name, Elder Su said as he turned around and looked at the disciple named Chang Quan. A name. A name that I should know. Could it be Deputy Valley Master Yi who never appears? Chang Quan thought for a moment and said in surprise. Love go little say W, Chu, you're not stupid. When Deputy Valley Master Yi just entered the 5th level, he climbed to 7,000 meters. Does he need to rest now that he's at 5,000 meters? Elder Su said. Then, all the peak masters from the Medicine Valley came. They were originally having a meeting to discuss the issue of resource expansion. After being informed by a disciple, they all came. After a while, this guy is finally willing to climb the cliff, Yen Beiji said emotionally. Today might be the day to witness a miracle. Yi Xiling was very confident in Night Sorrow. Soon, Night Sorrow reached 7,000 meters. At this time, Night Sorrow only had a little bit of energy left. Lifting the wine jug in his hand, he took 2 more sips. After taking a few deep breaths, Night Sorrow continued to charge upwards. 7,100 meters, 7,150 meters. Soon, Night Sorrow arrived at the legendary stairway of Danding Cliff. We've reached the stairway to heaven. How many years has it been since anyone from our Medicine Valley managed to step onto the stairway to heaven? Duan Lei said excitedly. This is just the beginning. Hua Yunpeng and the first elder appeared. They had just returned from outside. When they returned to the Medicine Valley, they noticed the hubbub of voices at Danding Cliff and came over. When they saw Hua Yunpeng and the first elder, all the members of Medicine Valley bowed to greet them. All right, quiet down. Hua Yunpeng waved his sleeves and said. Night Sorrow stood in front of the stairway to heaven. Withstanding the pressure, he tidied his robes and strode towards the front. At this moment, the pressure was very great. However, it was nothing to Night Sorrow, who had a cultivation base at the 8th level of the Void Inquiry stage and a cultivation base at the mid-4th level of the Myriad Tao Seeking realm. Night Sorrow then walked forward confidently. The pressure he's enduring isn't great. Elder Su looked at Night Sorrow's back and asked with a surprised expression. It's not that the pressure isn't great. It's just that his endurance is very strong. He could reach over 7,000 meters when he just attained the Void Inquiry stage. His current strength is completely different from his previous strength. The current pressure doesn't affect him much. Hua Yunping said. 1,800 steps. Night Sorrow calculated the steps one by one. More and more disciples of the Medicine Valley came to the scenic viewing mountain. Among them, there were also many senior disciples. These people all knew Night Sorrow. Shi Yunshao, Shi Yunhai, Gu Lin, Yi Yu, and the others had all come. Big brother, is this still the Night Sorrow who was at the same level as us in the past? Shi Yunhai, who was already at the late core condensation realm, looked at Shi Yunshao and asked. He's still the same person. However, his level is no longer something that we can understand. Shi Yunshao said. Gu Lin, Yi Yu, and the others also looked at each other. They knew that Night Sorrow was strong, but they did not expect that Night Sorrow had already become this strong. Night Sorrow walked forward leisurely. In the blink of an eye, hundreds of steps appeared behind Night Sorrow. Right at this moment, a strange change occurred out of nowhere. The shadow of a huge cauldron with 3 legs, 8 faces, and 8 dragon heads appeared in the sky above Pil Ding Cliff. The shadow rotated at high speed and charged towards Night Sorrow along with the energy it carried. Sensing the rapid increase in the impact of the energy, Night Sorrow instantly activated the Void Attribute Defensive Chi Barrier. Then, he activated the oneness of heaven and man to prevent the energy of Pil Ding Cliff from hitting him. As Night Sorrow activated the oneness of heaven and man, the energy coming from Pil Ding Cliff brushed past Night Sorrow's body and did not cause any impact on him. The oneness of heaven and man. The venerable realm. It's done. The energy of Pil Ding Cliff can no longer stop him. Hua Yunping's eyes were fixed on Night Sorrow's figure. After activating the oneness of heaven and man, Night Sorrow did not let the energy of Pil Ding Cliff reach him and continued moving forward. It should be said that he moved forward without any pressure. Soon, Night Sorrow was not far from the end of the stairway. When he was 300 steps away, something strange happened again. The shadow above Pil Ding Cliff moved and charged towards Night Sorrow. What is this 8-dragon cauldron trying to do? Hua Yunping's hair stood on end. The 8-dragon cauldron's action was not a test. It was an attack. Will Night Sorrow be in danger? Elder Su was a little anxious. At this moment, Night Sorrow did not hold back. He waved his right hand and the space-time pagoda appeared. He smashed it towards the 8-dragon cauldron's shadow. Whing! A violent vibration was heard. The 8-dragon cauldron's shadow was blocked by the space-time pagoda. The space-time pagoda was still pressing forward. Night Sorrow waved his left hand and flattened his fluttering robe. He continued moving forward because the space-time pagoda was suppressing the 8-dragon cauldron's shadow. If you're a spiritual treasure, then you should have the awareness of a spiritual treasure. You shouldn't do things you shouldn't do. With the space-time pagoda in front, Night Sorrow walked to the end of the stairway and arrived in front of a quaint cauldron. Your name is Night Sorrow. I've known about you for a long time. I didn't want to attack you. However, you have a spiritual treasure and a weapon spirit. You shouldn't have come near me. A childish voice was heard. I didn't think about that. I don't have any ill intentions. I just want to talk to you. The Medicine Valley has risen. I need your help. You can't just help me with my cultivation. Night Sorrow said. At the same time, he put away the space-time pagoda. The 8-dragon cauldron no longer had any intention of attacking. The previous chapter. I've done what I can. I've been doing this all these years, the childish voice said. But that's not enough. The Medicine Valley needs to protect itself and fight. Is that why I need your help? Night Sorrow said. You mean to acknowledge me as your master? But after so many years, no one has appeared who I don't feel humiliated. I want to follow a hero who can run rampant in the world, not a mediocre person, the childish voice, which was the weapon spirit of the 8-dragon cauldron, said. We have 2 venerables in the Medicine Valley. Can't they do it? Night Sorrow said with a frown. The words of the 8-dragon cauldron's weapon spirit were a little hurtful. Chapter 581. Genius 1 second. Remember love divided by go divided by little. I will provide you with wonderful novels to read. Night Sorrow was silent because this was a problem he had never thought of. He had never thought that the 8-dragon cauldron had taken a liking to him. Love go little say, Chu of last time, as long as you entered the stairway to heaven, would have let you come up. I originally thought that you would only need a few months to get there, but you didn't come. Now that you are here, you have other spiritual treasures with weapon spirits, the 8-dragon cauldron's weapon spirit said angrily when he saw that Night Sorrow did not speak. Don't be angry. I didn't want this to happen either, Night Sorrow said apologetically. Recognize someone else as my master. That's impossible unless you kill me, the 8-dragon cauldron's weapon spirit said. Then you have to contribute to the Medicine Valley. If you suddenly run away one day, the Medicine Valley will suffer a great loss. Night Sorrow said with a bitter smile. He did not want the 8-dragon cauldron and the Medicine Valley to happen to the Pagoda of Time and Space and the Qingtian region. You have amazing luck and will achieve great things in the future. It's not impossible for me to help you and the Medicine Valley. If you give me a strand of origin energy, I will borrow your luck and qi to cultivate. In the future, I will continue to stay here. If you want, I can also leave with you. Love go little say, chew the 8 dragon cauldron's weapon, spirit said. All right. Night Sorrow said after thinking for a while. He knew that this could prevent the 8 dragon cauldron from being recognized as its master and prevent it from running away by itself. Then, Night Sorrow waved his arm and sent a strand of soul energy into the ancient cauldron. Then, it was absorbed by the weapon spirit inside the cauldron. Then, a strand of energy rushed out of the cauldron and directly merged with Night Sorrow's body. Night Sorrow knew that this was the 8 dragon cauldron's origin energy. Sorry to trouble you, Night Sorrow said to the 8 dragon cauldron. All right, go then. In addition, this is the cauldron spirit liquid. I will leave some for you every year. Then, a white beam flew out of the 8 dragon cauldron and shot towards Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow waved his left arm and wrapped the medicinal cauldron spirit liquid with his energy. Then, he poured away the wine he drank and put the medicinal cauldron spirit liquid inside. Is there anything I can do for you? Night Sorrow asked after putting away the jug. There's nothing else. Work hard on your cultivation. If anything happens in the Medicine Valley, I will fight. I can still tell the difference between those who cultivate the sacred cauldron sutra and help them, said the vessel spirit of the 8 dragon cauldron. I'll come back to visit you when I have time. Night Sorrow cupped his hands towards the 8 dragon cauldron. With your power of origin, I'm going to evolve again. You should stay away, said the 8 dragon cauldron. Night Sorrow nodded and left Pill Tripod Cliff in a flash. After a few flashes, he landed on the side of Scenic Mountain. Then, he cupped his hands towards Hua Yunpeng and the Great Elder. Supreme Elder, I'm sorry. I already know what happened. This is very good. If anything happens, the people of the Medicine Valley can activate it. That's enough, Hua Yunpeng said with a smile. At this moment, the energy on Pill Tripod Cliff boiled and the energy clouds rippled in all directions. Then, the 8 dragon cauldron shook violently. Then, it shone brightly and directly rose into the sky. After rising into the sky, the 8 dragon cauldron continued to shine. At the same time, energy spewed out. White energy once again covered Pill Tripod Cliff. Night Sorrow noticed that the energy emitted by the 8 dragon cauldron was still white, but its body was surrounded by colorful light. It has been promoted to a mid-grade holy treasure. Lil Kong's voice sounded in Night Sorrow's mind. What about you? Night Sorrow communicated with Lil Kong. I don't know, but the Spacetime Treasure Pagoda is definitely more advanced than it. I'm now an incomplete weapon spirit. I don't remember or know many things. In terms of weapon spirits, it's more advanced than me. At the very least, it can communicate with sound, but I can't do that. Lil Kong communicated with Night Sorrow. You can do it in the future too. Night Sorrow comforted Lil Kong. At this moment, another ray of light was emitted from the 8 dragon cauldron. It instantly flew to Scenic Mountain and entered Night Sorrow's body. This is the power of the medicine spirit. After it fuses with your body, it can't help you much usually. However, once you are injured, it will allow you to recover in the fastest time. The 8 dragon cauldron's voice sounded in Night Sorrow's mind again. Night Sorrow bowed to the 8 dragon cauldron again. He felt that he had failed the 8 dragon cauldron. You don't have to think about anything else. With your power of origin, this holy treasure is complete. With your luck, it will continue to be promoted. The 8 dragon cauldron seemed to understand Night Sorrow's state of mind. You can take it with you, the Great Elder said. The Medicine Valley still needs it to nurture disciples. Night Sorrow glanced at the group of Medicine Valley disciples behind them and said, the Medicine Valley still has the Golden Flame Palace. The Golden Flame Palace can help disciples cultivate. You have brought too much to the Medicine Valley, but the Medicine Valley can't give you anything. If you want to take it with you, you can take it with you at any time, Hua Yunping said. I won't take it with me for the time being. Night Sorrow shook his head. After looking at Night Sorrow, Hua Yunping turned around and looked at the crowd of Medicine Valley disciples. The Medicine Valley has today. You must remember one name, Night Sorrow. The disciples of Medicine Valley can stand up straight and walk in the Eastern Profound Domain with their chests out. You must remember one person, Night Sorrow. The pride of our Medicine Valley. Greetings, Deputy Valley Master Knight. All the disciples of Medicine Valley bowed to him. Night Sorrow was about to return the greeting when the great elder stopped him. Night Sorrow, what are you doing? You are the Deputy Valley Master of Medicine Valley. You deserve their greeting. I forgot. I always thought of myself as a new disciple, Night Sorrow said, a little embarrassed. The original version Yi Xiling walked over and smiled at Night Sorrow. You can't joke like this. It'll be fun if you return the greeting today. The Medicine Valley has been developing rapidly. The disciples of the Medicine Valley are working very hard because they all know that a third-level Qi refining disciple of the Medicine Valley appeared out of nowhere a few years ago and brought glory to the Medicine Valley and them. This is very inspirational. They can't help but work hard to learn about it, Duan Lei said with a smile. Martial Uncle Duan, you must be joking. Night Sorrow cupped his hands to Duan Lei. I'm not joking at all. Not many people in the Medicine Valley know you, but almost no one doesn't know the name Night Sorrow. Duan Lei shook his head and said. Then Hua Yunpeng and the Great Elder pulled Night Sorrow to the pill tripod hole. Gong Xian, Ling Xiao, the Medicine Valley is on the right track. I'm also tired, so I won't take care of the Medicine Valley's affairs. In the future, the Medicine Valley's affairs will depend on you, the Great Elder said to Gong Xian and Chu Lingxiao. Then choose a day. We'll respectfully send the Great Elder to the Hall of Worship, Gong Xian and Chu Lingxiao said. There's no need for such a grand ceremony. I felt that my realm was enough some time ago, so I'm going to touch the threshold of the Venerable Realm and see if I can make a breakthrough. Otherwise, I won't have much time left, the Great Elder said. Chapter 582. Genius 1 second. Remember love go/Shao. Shuanet provides you with wonderful novels to read. No need. You youngsters still have a long way to go. You can keep the resources for your own use. Love go/Shao Shua www.aichuxs.com, the Great Elder said with a smile. Just take it, Great Elder. It's a token of my appreciation. Night Sorrow took out a jade bottle and poured a dozen drops of life essence into the Great Elder's hands. A dozen drops wasn't a small number. Back in the Medicine Valley, the heaven-ranked disciples only used 1 or 2 drops of Medicine Cauldron Spirit Elixir. All right. I'll take it then. The Great Elder nodded at Night Sorrow. I know your world is out there. Don't worry about it. Come back and rest if you're tired. The Medicine Valley will always be your home, Hua Yunping said. Night Sorrow bowed to Hua Yunping and the Great Elder. If there's nothing else, I'll take my leave. Go. The Great Elder nodded at Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow cupped his hands at Gong Xian and Chu Lingxiao. Then, he walked out of the main hall, released Tianyu, and left. Resolute and decisive. This little guy has trained well, the Great Elder said as he looked in the direction Night Sorrow had left. It won't be long before he becomes a supremacy. He won't be a little guy anymore. Gong Xian, Ling Xiao, you have to work hard. Hua Yunping said to Gong Xian and Chu Lingxiao. No matter how hard we work, it's useless in front of him, Chu Lingxiao said with a wry smile. Hua Yunping smiled. He knew that no matter who was in the same generation as Night Sorrow, they would be helpless. After Night Sorrow reached Danding City, he took the teleportation portal back to Qingxin Villa. Since he did not see Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu in the main building of the backyard, Night Sorrow arrived at the training ground of the god-slaying squad. In the martial arts practice field, Night Sorrow saw the scene of a heated training session. However, he realized that everyone's training method was somewhat different from before. Currently, everyone was practicing joint attack tactics. What's going on? Seeing that everyone had stopped cultivating, Night Sorrow asked. Only, why, this was Sister Linglong's idea. Sister Linglong's hometown has a group attack tactic, so we all wanted to try it out, Nan Liu said. This is a group attack technique that is popular in my hometown, Linglong said. That's because we don't understand formations. It would be great if we did. I've read some ancient books. There used to be formations in the past, but they were all lost. The main reason is that no one pays attention to them now, Yang Lei said. Others may not care, but we do. If you don't know formations, you can learn them. I'll leave for a while. After releasing Tianyu, Night Sorrow left directly. He planned to see Wu Lingfei. Wu Lingfei cultivated formations. This was something that Night Sorrow knew. This guy is in such a hurry. I wonder what he's going to do, Yang Lei said. I think the captain is going to study formations. When Ninth Senior Sister mentioned the formation attack tactic, the captain's eyes lit up, Nan Liu said. Sikong Chuyu nodded. She felt that this was possible. Night Sorrow was someone who did what he wanted to do. He would not drag things out. Sitting in the strategic teleportation portal, Night Sorrow arrived at Taiyue Domain's West Sea City. He went to the mountain next to the Realm Sea battlefield to see Wu Lingfei. Why are you here again? Wu Lingfei looked at Night Sorrow and asked. Auntie Fei, that. I want to learn formations. Night Sorrow hesitated for a moment before speaking. After all, formations were also an inheritance. It was a bit inappropriate to speak like this. If you want to learn, then learn. What's there to be embarrassed about? But can you handle it? You need to cultivate your body, your true energy, your innate bloodline power, and your soul power. Wu Lingfei looked at Night Sorrow and asked. I'll study it when I have time. It won't affect my main cultivation direction, Night Sorrow said. All right. From today onwards, I'll explain formations to you for 2 hours every morning, Wu Lingfei said. Wu Lingfei was naturally willing to teach Night Sorrow if he wanted to learn. In the following days, Night Sorrow cultivated the basics every night. In the morning, he practiced spear arts for a while. After that, he would learn formations from Wu Lingfei. In the afternoon, he would study formations by himself. Junior Sister Wu, do you think this guy doesn't know how to get tired? Lin Yuandao asked as he watched Night Sorrow inscribing formations in the distance. Indeed. Most people wouldn't be able to handle it. He must have a reason for studying formations. I'll ask him later. However, this guy's talent in formations is also ridiculously high. He'll understand as long as I explain it to him, Wu Lingfei said. This is a talent. He can cultivate any one of them, Lin Yuandao said. After Night Sorrow practiced inscribing formations for a while, he returned to his tent. Night Sorrow, tell Auntie Fei, why do you cultivate formations? Wu Lingfei looked at Night Sorrow and asked. It's like this. I want to study a joint attack formation. That way, the members of the god-slaying team can increase their combat power. Night Sorrow explained why he wanted to cultivate formations. Actually, formations are very useful. It can be used in many ways. After hearing Night Sorrow's answer, Wu Lingfei nodded. Night Sorrow was a person who could calm down. He cultivated and studied formations at the same time. He felt that his life was very fulfilling. Half a month later, Knight Soro's myriad Tao scripture had improved to the 5th level of the Tao-seeking realm. The crescent moon blade in his spirit sea had become more solid. His biggest gain was the cultivation of formations. Now, he could already set up some low-level formations. After that, Wu Lingfei began to teach Knight Soro mid-level formations. Knight Soro cultivated every day without any worries in his heart. After all, the war was in a stalemate. The Qingtian region would not dare to start a war rashly. The Eastern Xian region, the North Sea region and the Tianji Tower did not have the intention to attack them either. Time passed very quickly. In the blink of an eye, 2 months had passed. Knight Soro's true qi cultivation base improved very slowly. However, it had also reached the mid-8th level of the void inquiry stage. The myriad Tao scripture had also reached the peak of the 5th level of the Tao-seeking realm. Knight Soro's formation skills improved even faster. He had already mastered mid-level formations. He had also mastered a few high-level formations. Now that you know the rules and patterns of high-level formations, you can slowly study them yourself. Now, Aunt Fei will teach you composite formations. Composite formations are the combination of several formations. If used properly, a low-level formation can display the power of a mid-level formation while a mid-level formation can display the power of a high-level formation. While Wu Lingfei was explaining, she began to casually set up a formation for Knight Soro to observe. At this moment, Tai Shu Yen came. She chatted with Lin Yuandao casually. "Senior brother Lin, isn't it unnecessary for Knight Soro to learn this? This guy should cultivate his combat power and walk the path of violence. Let others learn formations and whatnot." Tai Shu Yen said. She had been here a few times and she did not agree with Knight Soro's practice of formations. She felt that he should focus on improving his combat power. Your idea is right. However, Knight Soro's cultivation speed is too fast. It's good for him to stabilize his foundation while cultivating formations. After all, he is still too young. Learning formations can help him stabilize his foundation. Lin Yuandao spoke out the reason why he supported Knight Soro in learning formations. Chapter 583. Genius 1 second. Remember love/go/little. Shuanet provides you with wonderful novels to read. After taking Knight Soro to practice drawing array diagrams for a while, Wu Lingfei brought Knight Soro back. "Junior sister is here." Wu Lingfei greeted Tai Shu Yen. "If you have nothing to do, come and sit down. Senior sister has a pot of good tea to drink." "Knight Soro, how's your array formation practice?" Tai Shu Yen asked while looking at Knight Soro who was brewing tea. "It's okay. The study of array formations is broad and profound. It needs to be studied slowly. I found that as long as you are willing to study array formations, there is no limit. Low-level array formations can be infinitely evolved." Knight Soro said. "SG is the only genuine copy, L others equals N all, 5 is a pirated copy." Yes, studying array formations takes time, but it can also cultivate one's mind. Knight Soro, find a few array formations in the middle and let the members of the God-slaying squad remember the positions. Then, cooperate with them to attack. The effect will be very obvious. Wu Lingfei said to Knight Soro. "I understand." Recently, Knight Soro had been studying this problem. Moreover, he had drawn a joint attack array diagram. A 3-person joint attack could use the 3 talents array, a 4-person joint attack could use the 4 directions constellation array, and a 5-person joint attack could use the 5 elements heavenly star array. Take this ancient array formation book and study it. What Aunt Fei can teach you is almost the same. In fact, after learning array formations, everyone is the same. As long as you are willing to study it, your achievements will be great. Love go little say W. Chu Wu Lingfei handed a book to Yi Shang and said, "Don't worry. Aunt Fei, you don't want to teach me." Night Sorrow looked at Wu Lingfei with some surprise. "It's not that I don't want to teach you, it's that I can't teach you. Aunt Fei has taught you the principle of array formations. You also understand the principle of mutual promotion and restraint. In the future, you can slowly study it yourself. You are now able to arrange high-level array formations. You are already an array master." Wu Lingfei said with a smile. "I am an array master. Aunt Fei, please don't make fun of me. I only know a little bit of it." Night Sorrow said with a smile. "That's not up to you to decide. As long as you can set up a high-level array, you're an array master. If you can fuse 3 or more high-level arrays, you're an array grandmaster." Tai Shu Yen said. She was very shocked. It had only been a little more than 2 months, and under the circumstances of persevering in cultivation, it was really rare to be able to cultivate array formations to such a level. Take your time to study it. You'll definitely achieve something. Wu Lingfei was very optimistic about Night Sorrow's talent in cultivating array formations. To cultivate array formations, one needed to have a strong soul force, be good at deducing, and have a calm mind. Night Sorrow could do all of these. If you continue to ponder over alchemy and weapon forging, then you'll be developing in an all-round way, Tai Shu Yen said to Night Sorrow with a smile. "Martial Uncle Tai, please don't attack me. I also have a purpose for learning array formations. Otherwise, I wouldn't have come into contact with this domain." Night Sorrow said with a smile. He knew that Tai Shu Yen didn't approve of him cultivating array formations. If this king remembers incorrectly, your information still says that you're an alchemist. What's your alchemy level? Lin Yuandao looked at Night Sorrow and asked. "I can refine level 5 pills for my own use," Night Sorrow said. "Night Sorrow, you just wait." Martial Uncle didn't say anything. Martial Uncle didn't stop you from studying weapon forging. Tai Shu Yen was completely speechless. She had really been hit by Night Sorrow. "I won't learn weapon forging. When the time comes, I'll ask someone else to forge it," Night Sorrow said. After chatting for a while, Tai Shu Yen left. Night Sorrow also continued to meditate and cultivate. "Junior Sister Wu, I think that after Inspector Guo stabilizes his cultivation, we can start. First, we'll chase after Gu Hai Tian and deal with him. Even if we can't kill him, we'll still have to seriously injure him. Then, we'll start a war in Qingtian Domain's Gu family, Western Nether Domain, and Tianfeng Dynasty of Taiqing Domain," Lin Yuandao said. Baidu search AI Go Xiao Shua www.aichux.com. Okay, this kind of confrontation will delay things. I guess that elderly will also have some news. It doesn't matter whether he has advanced or not. If he has reached the half-step saint realm and can block an invincible venerable, then we can fight. Wu Lingfei nodded. Lin Yuandao nodded. Borrowing source stones to cultivate did not mean that one could use them all the time. It also depended on one's luck. If one cultivated for 3 months, they would be able to comprehend it. If one could not comprehend it, it would be a waste of time. After cultivating the foundation for a night, Night Sorrow got up and began to cultivate his spear art. Seeing that Night Sorrow had finished cultivating his spear art, Wu Lingfei waved her hand at Night Sorrow. "Night Sorrow, go back to Eastern Xian Domain and take the God-slaying team to stand by. There may be a war soon." "Okay, then I'll go back now." Night Sorrow nodded, then called Tianyu, who was dozing off, and rode Tianyu away from the mountain peak. "Senior Brother Lin, I'll go organize the troops. After saying that, Wu Lingfei flashed to the front of the camp in the Realm Sea and called all the commanders together. Senior Sister Wu, do you plan to take action? Taishu Yan asked. Yes, gather half of the troops and let the people of Tianji Tower take them through the strategic teleportation array to enter Qingtian Domain's Jiyu family, Taiqing Domain's Tianfeng dynasty, and Western Nether Domain's hinterlands. If we go well here, then we'll directly start the war, Wu Lingfei said. Directly start the war? Taishu Yan asked in surprise. Yes, either we don't fight, or we fight once. Since they want to fight us, then they'll have to pay the price, Wu Lingfei said. Night Sorrow returned to Eastern Xian City and gathered the members of the God-slaying team after arriving at Qingxin Cottage. I've been studying array formations during this period of time, mainly to increase our team members' ability to fight in groups. I'm going to draw an array diagram now. You guys record it down and then everyone can cultivate. Night Sorrow then started to draw an array diagram on the ground. Night Sorrow first drew the tripartite array diagram for a three-person joint attack, then he explained the changes in the array foundation of the tripartite array, as well as the changes in attack and defense after the changes in the array foundation. After explaining, Night Sorrow asked the members of the God-slaying team to familiarize themselves with any position in the array diagram. In other words, any three people would be able to use the tripartite array in a battle. Seeing that everyone had drawn the tripartite array diagram, Night Sorrow then drew the quadrangular constellation array for a four-person joint attack and started to explain the changes in the array formation again. Everyone, practice these two array formations first. Remember, my request is that any 3 or 4 people can form the array. Everyone has to be able to adapt to any position, Night Sorrow said to everyone present. Yes. Everyone replied with a straight back. There might be a big battle. I don't want to see any of you injured or damaged. The joint attack array formation will be very useful, so you have to familiarize yourself with it as soon as possible and apply what you've learned, Night Sorrow said to the members of the God-slaying team. Yishan still had 5-man and 6-man joint attack array diagrams. These were the array formations that he had picked out from the array formations that were most suitable for group attacks. However, he was afraid that the God-slaying team would be greedy, so he had only taught them 2 types of array formations. After receiving the array diagrams, the members of the God-slaying team studied the changes in every position in the joint attack array diagram and put themselves in their shoes to think about what to do. Everyone studied for a day and then began to train under the arrangement of Xueling and Ho Jian. Night Sorrow, aren't you going to practice? Exquisite shouted when she saw Night Sorrow flipping through the books. Chapter 584. Genius 1 second. Remember, love divided by go divided by little. We will provide you with interesting novels to read. 13. You left to learn array formations. Yang Lei looked at Night Sorrow in surprise. Love go little say W. Chu, yes, I learned array formations from Auntie Fei for 2 months. The effects are quite obvious. Give me a teleportation crystal and I can set up a teleportation array, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Then you are an array formation master. Captain, you are really awesome. You can fight, refine elixirs, and set up arrays. You are an all-round expert, Nan Liu said with some emotion. Alright, you guys continue cultivating. I will return to the backyard. Remember, you have to be proficient in your cultivation. If you are not proficient in array formations, you are not allowed to cultivate anything else. After instructing Night Sorrow, he left. He wanted to go into seclusion to break through. A few days ago, he had cultivated the Myriad Dao treasured tome to the peak of the 5th level of the Dao querying realm. Now, he could continue cultivating and break through. This is the first time Captain has forced us to cultivate, Ho Qingjie said. This is something that can increase one's combat strength and survival chances. You have to cultivate it. Ho Jian glared at Ho Qingjie. Night Sorrow spent 3 days in seclusion this time. After 3 days, Night Sorrow officially cultivated the Myriad Tao Treasured Tome to the 6th level of the Tao Querying Realm. As he advanced, the power of the Myriad Tao Treasured Tome became stronger and faster. What made Night Sorrow a little depressed was that his bloodline talent had loosened a little. However, he could not activate it. He was still a little short of maturity. After leaving the secret cultivation room, Night Sorrow started cultivating his spear skills. The increase in the cultivation level of the Myriad Tao Treasured Tome made Night Sorrow's spear skills more swift and violent. Besides the increase in the power of the Myriad Tao Treasured Tome, Night Sorrow's physical strength had increased as well. With greater strength, the strength of his attacks would naturally increase. After cultivating his spear skills for a while, Night Sorrow arrived at the training ground where the God-slaying squad was cultivating. When Night Sorrow arrived at the training ground, he was very satisfied with the situation. This was because the God-slaying squad's joint attack formation had already taken shape. They were all practicing in groups and constantly changing positions. Clapping his hands, Night Sorrow asked everyone to stop cultivating. Not bad. We are already on track. Let's go out for a drink and relax before coming back to cultivate. Yishang led a group of people to a restaurant and ordered the best food and wine. Then, he led everyone to start drinking. Captain, I'm sure you have more than 2 formation diagrams, right? Nan Liua asked as she drank her wine. That's true. However, everyone should first familiarize themselves with the 2 sets of joint attack formations. In the future, I'll give you 2 sets of formation diagrams, Night Sorrow said after taking a sip of wine. Let me tell you something. The joint attack formation is the team leader's painstaking effort. It is also the ultimate move of our God-slaying squad. Everyone, make sure to keep it a secret. Do not leak it out, Ho Jian said as he looked at everyone. Don't worry. We will cherish the captain's efforts, Lei Bao said. After drinking, the group returned to the mansion. The members of the God-slaying squad continued to cultivate the joint attack formation. Night Sorrow went to a corner of the training ground and meditated. His current direction was to improve his soul power and bloodline talent. As for his true energy and the Myriad Tao Tome, Night Sorrow wanted to be stable. His true energy and the Myriad Tao Tome had been improving too quickly recently. Rapid improvement would cause his cultivation base to be unstable. Although the direction of their cultivation was different, everyone was in high spirits. Night Sorrow continued to absorb the power of space transmitted by the Spacetime Pagoda and hit the 5th bloodline talent energy point under the dragon bone. 9th senior sister, is the captain 20 years old? Why do I feel that even someone a few decades old is not as mature as the captain? Love go little say. Chunan Liuel looked at Night Sorrow and asked Yang Lei, who was meditating in a corner of the training ground. How could there be a mistake? If we calculate based on bone age, he was 14 when he joined the sect. Now that he has been in the sect for 4.5 years, he is not even 20 yet. His actual age is a little over 20, Yang Lei said. Ha, 9th senior sister, you and Chuyu are scourges. You are eating young grass. Ling Long said with a smile. You are too vicious, Sikong Chuyu said as he reached out and pushed Ling Long. While everyone was familiarizing themselves with the joint attack formation, they continued to cultivate. Night Sorrow sat there motionlessly and worked hard to break through the 5th bloodline talent energy point. Time slipped by slowly. In the blink of an eye, more than 10 days had passed. Night Sorrow realized that the 5th bloodline talent energy point was loosening. He took out a spatial crystal and started to break through it. 9th senior sister, will Night Sorrow be fine cultivating like this? Sikong Chuyu, who had finished cultivating the joint attack formation, asked worriedly. He should be fine. Let's wait for another 2 days. If he still can't do it, we will wake him up. Cultivating like this is not good. It will tire him out. Yang Lei nodded. She also did not want Night Sorrow to work too hard. Night Sorrow was absorbing the energy from the spatial crystal. Together with the spatial energy from the spacetime pagoda, they rushed towards the fifth bloodline talent energy point under the dragon bone. As Night Sorrow worked hard to break through, the fifth bloodline talent energy point under the dragon bone on his back began to shake. Then, it started to erupt. At this moment, Night Sorrow's body was filled with rich spatial energy. A moment later, Night Sorrow's body trembled. The fifth bloodline talent energy point was completely activated. After activating the fifth bloodline energy point, the spatial energy within Night Sorrow's 5 bloodline energy points began to circulate and rush towards the 6th bloodline energy point from time to time. QS only 1PSX version 5D. It's F unspecified currency he won, all %, is Grauber 3 version. Night Sorrow knew that he didn't know how long it would take to activate the 6th bloodline talent energy point. Right now, the 5th bloodline talent energy point was extremely empty. He needed to slowly cultivate until the 5th bloodline talent energy point was completely saturated. Only then would it be effective to activate the 6th bloodline talent energy point. After sensing the condition of his body, Night Sorrow stood up and put away the spatial crystal in his hand. He then walked over to the god-slaying squad. "Captain, you can't cultivate like this. You'll tire yourself out." Nan Liuel looked at Night Sorrow and said, "Recently, I've been trying to break through a bottleneck, so I've been a little impatient," Night Sorrow said with a smile. "But your cultivation hasn't broken through?" Ling Long asked Night Sorrow. "It's not in terms of cultivation. It's something else. Currently, you guys have no problems cultivating the 2 joint attack formations. I'll get you guys another joint attack formation diagram in a few days. I don't know when the news of the battle will arrive, but I think it'll be soon," Night Sorrow said as he tidied up his robes, which were slightly wrinkled from sitting cross-legged for a long time. Night Sorrow knew that when Wu Lingfei said to prepare for the battle, there was going to be a battle. However, he didn't know when the battle would start or what kind of battle it would be. "Then, Captain, give us another joint attack formation diagram, the tripartite formation and the 4 corners constellation formation." "Our brothers have already cultivated it well," Ho Jian said. "That's fine. You guys continue cultivating the joint attack formation." Night Sorrow took a branch and drew the 5 elements heavenly star formation diagram on the ground. He then explained it to everyone. Chapter 585. Genius 1 second. Remember love divided by go divided by little. Say net, providing you with wonderful novels to read. Night Sorrow had activated his 5th bloodline energy point, increasing his bloodline energy by more than a third, close to half. This was not the most important thing. The most important thing was that the 5th bloodline energy point had a lot of space, which meant that there was a lot of room for development. Baidu search AI go female sign shao say www.aichuxs. Com. If Night Sorrow could fill up the space in all 5 bloodline energy points, the power of the space crack would double. A cultivation maniac. Being in the same generation as a cultivation maniac is destined to be a tragedy for a genius like me, Exquisite said while rubbing her forehead. Haha. That's why we have to work hard. If we don't work hard, we won't be able to fight alongside Captain in the future, Ho Jian said with a smile. Love go little say Webku, that's true. Let's continue to work hard. Let's study the diagram first. Exquisite took out the diagram she had drawn and began to study it. This is a delicate job. I'm really surprised that Captain could do it so well, Lei Bao said. You mean Night Sorrow is very careless? Actually, Night Sorrow is very meticulous, Sikong Chuyu said with a smile. Time slipped away bit by bit. Night Sorrow absorbed the energy of the space crystal to strengthen his bloodline talent. At the same time, he cultivated his soul power and the crescent blade of the soul extinguishing slash. At the same time, he also cultivated his chi. The myriad Tao tome stabilized his cultivation and improved it naturally. The space of Night Sorrow's fifth bloodline energy point was terrifying. Night Sorrow only increased the saturation by a small amount after using a space crystal. After 20 days, Night Sorrow absorbed the energy of 3 space crystals to fill up the space of the fifth bloodline energy point. Taking a deep breath, Night Sorrow stood up and created a space crack. After the crescent-shaped space energy slash appeared, it slashed forward. Space was like a piece of white paper as a black hole was cut open. Furthermore, under the control of Night Sorrow's state of the union of heaven and man, the spatial tear closed very slowly. Looking at the space crack slowly closing, Night Sorrow felt that if he tried his best to control it, the space crack could last for a while. However, he still did not understand what the space crack was. Looking at the turbulent space flow inside the space crack, Night Sorrow knew that if he went in, he would die. Night Sorrow stared blankly at the closing spatial rift. The members of the God-slaying squad ran over and stared blankly at Night Sorrow. Everyone had seen the spatial crack that Night Sorrow had created, but they didn't understand how Night Sorrow had done it. Night Sorrow, what was that move of yours? Exquisite asked, looking at Night Sorrow. It's an innate skill, but it's not perfect yet. I don't know how it works yet, Night Sorrow said as he rubbed his messy hair. It's not perfect yet. That's really not going to let us live. Exquisite was a little depressed. Night Sorrow's move was so strong, but it was still not perfect. Then, Night Sorrow asked everyone to cultivate while he continued to think about the cultivation direction of the space crack. Night Sorrow had heard from Wuling Fei that the space crack could break open space. It could even be used to enter the turbulent space flow and travel through space. However, he couldn't do it now, even if he was a supremacy. Love go little say W. Chu. After thinking for a while, Night Sorrow felt that he should wait until he reached the supremacy realm. He was still lacking a lot. Then, Night Sorrow sat down and stabilized his bloodline talent. He quickly absorbed 3 space crystals to stabilize his cultivation. While stabilizing his bloodline talent, Night Sorrow also took the mystic turtle crystal to cultivate. His soul power, true chi, and myriad Tao's tome began to advance together. After cultivating for a few more days, Lan Yuxuan came with Wuling Fei's order. She asked the God-slaying squad to enter the Qingtian domain and wait for orders to fight. Once the order arrived, they would attack the Jiyu family's forces in the Qingtian domain. Lan Yuxuan was responsible for protecting everyone. In addition, Night Sorrow didn't know that Lin Yuandao had sent someone to inform Gold Palace Master Yao Yang to protect Night Sorrow's squad. Yao Yang was waiting for Night Sorrow to meet up with him. Everyone, get ready. We'll set off in 2 hours. Night Sorrow gave the God-slaying squad an order. They didn't prepare much, so they set off immediately. The group took the strategic teleportation array and went directly to the underground hall of the Celestial Peak Pavilion in the Qingtian domain. They left the underground hall and rested in the courtyard behind the Celestial Peak Pavilion. It was more convenient to travel at night. Lan Yuxuan took out a map and pointed to the attack point circled on it for Night Sorrow. It was the Jiyu family's Ji Royal City. Currently, most of the Jiyu family's forces were in Qingtian City, but the origin of the Jiyu family was in Ji Royal City. This time, Night Sorrow and the others' first target was Ji Royal City. Their second target was Jiyu family's branch and property in Valurium City. Let's go as soon as possible. There was no teleportation array to Ji Royal City. It wasn't that there was no teleportation array to Ji Royal City, but they couldn't use it. If they did, they would be discovered by the Ji family in advance. While Night Sorrow and the others were resting, Lan Yuxuan met up with Yao Yang, who was in charge of protecting the operation. Yao Yang wouldn't participate in the battle. He followed in secret to protect everyone's safety. His main concern was Night Sorrow and Ling Long's safety. The others were secondary. When the sky turned dark, the group left the Celestial Peak Pavilion on their mounts and set off for Ji Royal City. Night Sorrow and the others were in high spirits. In fact, they were very excited. Supervisor Lan, are there any venerables from the Ji family in Ji Royal City? Night Sorrow asked. The existence of venerables was the most unstable factor, so Night Sorrow wanted to know. Maybe, but it won't be a high-level one. Leave it to me. What the God-slaying team needs to do is to strike down Ji family's arrogance and destroy their base. This should be a big blow, Lan Yuxuan said. We should be supporting the operation, right? Night Sorrow looked at Lan Yuxuan and asked. Yes, Master Wu Kei and the others should be moving. I don't know the details. We will wait for news when we arrive at Ji Royal City. There is a branch of Tianji Tower there. If there is a battle order, they will send it to us directly, Lan Yuxuan said. Night Sorrow nodded. He believed that Wu Lingfei and Lin Yuandao should have made the appropriate arrangements. Otherwise, they wouldn't start the battle. After arriving at Ji Royal City, the group didn't enter the city. Instead, they set up camp outside the city and waited for news of the battle. Let me tell you. Our battle is only against cultivators. We won't attack cultivators below the 3rd stage, Night Sorrow said to the members of the God-slaying team. Bang! The members of the God-slaying team responded to Night Sorrow by knocking on their breastplates. Let's set up camp and rest. Ho Jian, send someone to stand guard. Night Sorrow gave the order to set up camp. After setting up camp, Night Sorrow stood on the mountain and looked at Ji Royal City. He knew that the battle between him and the Ji family was about to begin. The hatred for Father Gu's arm was about to be resolved. What are you thinking about? Sikong Chuyu came to Night Sorrow's side. Chapter 586. A genius remembers love in 1 second. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Don't worry. We've waited for a few years. A few more days won't make a difference, Sikong Chuyu said. Night Sorrow nodded. In fact, his heart had always been very calm. He would use actions to solve some things, and would not let other things affect his mood. 13. We should be supporting the realm war next. Could it be that West Sea City's Realm C is about to officially start a war? Yang Lei also came to Night Sorrow's side. P% Yongji $V red carrot novels for free. The battle in the Realm C is actually just a supporting role. The real battle is still between the saints, said Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow then gave his opinion. Night Sorrow believed that Wu Lingfei, Tai Shu Yan, and the others would not choose to fight in a mutually destructive manner. That way, Eastern Xian region, Northern Sea region, and Tianji Tower would all suffer some losses. If a saint were to join the battle, Jiyu and Haitian would definitely seek revenge. The Eastern Xian region, Northern Sea region, and Tianji Tower wouldn't be able to withstand it. According to Night Sorrow's estimation, Wu Lingfei and the others would adopt his original plan, which was to kill Jiyu Haitian first, then Wu Lingfei and Lin Yuandao would be able to attack without any scruples. Baidu search AI go female sign Xiao say www.aichuxs. COMC Kong Chiu looked at Night Sorrow and asked, according to what you said, we have at least 3 saints on our side, and possibly 4. I'm not sure about elderly. He's an unknown factor. Chief Supervisor Gua has definitely broken through. Night Sorrow nodded. If we can successfully kill the GU family saints, we'll have more than 3 saints and some peak-level venerables on our side. By then, we'll be able to crush the Tianfeng dynasty from the Qing Tian domain, the West Nether domain, and the Tai Qing domain, said Yang Lei. It's like this. If we can wait for the news of the battle, then everything will go smoothly. Night Sorrow said. He knew that Wu Lingfei and Lin Yuandao weren't reckless people. They wouldn't declare war without killing Ji Yuhaitian. If they received the battle information, it meant that they had succeeded. Then we'll wait. Sikong Chuyu nodded. After observing Ji Royal City for a while, Night Sorrow returned to the campsite. Seeing that the members of the God-slaying squad were still cultivating the 5 elements heavenly star formation, Night Sorrow nodded in satisfaction and entered the tent to meditate. The brothers of the God-slaying squad did not need anyone to supervise them at all. Night Sorrow was not worried at all. Captain's will to fight is very strong, said Ling Long, who had stopped cultivating. Because GU's family owes our captain. This time, they have to pay it back, said Qin Zhen. It can't be. I'm well informed. It's said that our captain stole the woman that GU's family likes, Nan Liu said as she looked at Qin Zhen. That's not important. What's important is that GU's family cut off one of our captain's father's arms, said Qin Zhen. Qin Zhen knew more about Night Sorrow than the others. How can this be? Our captain's father's revenge is our revenge. We must kill him mercilessly. Xueling said. Ha! Xueling said. It's not his father. It's his adoptive father who raised Night Sorrow. Because of him, his adoptive father was wronged. Night Sorrow is very sad, said Sikong Chuyu, who had walked over with Yang Lei. He's too shameless, said Ling Long, that's why this is a big grudge. Yang Lei knew how much Night Sorrow cared about Old Goo's father. Then when the order to fight comes, we'll start killing and burn Ji Royal City, said Ling Long after hearing Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu's words. That won't work because our captain won't let us hurt the innocent. If we burn Ji Royal City, the ordinary people will be affected, said Ho Jian. Are you a pig? I'm asking you if you're a pig. We won't burn the houses of the ordinary people. We'll burn the city lord's mansion and GU's family's nest and steal their resources, Nan Liu scolded Ho Jian. I like that. We'll just rob them. We're righteous people. Otherwise, we'll rob the women of GU's family too, said Lei Zhang. Righteous people. Forget about it. If it weren't for our God-slaying squad having some rules, I reckon you wouldn't even let GU's Andes off, said Ho Qingjie as he glanced at Lei Zhang. You can insult my body, but you can't insult my character. Do I have such bad taste? Lei Zhang turned around and grabbed Ho Qingjie's robe, glaring at him. Let's not get physical. If you treat me like this, I'm worried that I won't be able to control my mouth. At that time, you'll be the one embarrassed. I remember the last time we went to buy battle robes, I think I waited for you at the entrance of some shop for an hour, said Ho Qingjie as he patted Lei Zhang's hand. Brother, there's dust on your robe. Let me help you pat it off. Lei Zhang's attitude immediately changed after hearing Ho Qingjie's words. Yes, there's dust on my back. Let me pat it a few times. Ho Qingjie shook his robe. Lei Zhang chuckled as he patted Ho Qingjie's back. It was obvious that Ho Qingjie had taken out something that could be used against him. We're not interested in the trivial matters between men. Let's continue. Ling Long gave Lei Zhang and Ho Qingjie a disdainful look before returning to her tent. Night Sorrow began his cultivation using the time pagoda. However, he asked Shao Kong to stop the transfer of spatial power to him. The innate bloodline power needed to be stabilized and not improved. Without cultivating spatial power, Night Sorrow focused on cultivating his true chi and soul power at full speed. The others did the same. They were improving their strength at full speed. The days passed peacefully. The members of the God-slaying squad were very passionate about their cultivation. It was mainly because they had abundant resources. The treatment of the blood robes guards in the city lord's mansion of Dongxian City was very good. However, there was also a limited number of 5th-grade pills. Now, however, the members of the God-slaying squad were not like that. As long as they needed it, they could get it. The effect of having abundant resources was that their cultivation base improved rapidly. Currently, the members of the God-slaying squad were all at the 2nd level of the Void Inquiry stage. Once they break through to the 3rd level of the Void Inquiry stage, they would not be far away from the 4th level of the Void Inquiry stage with the help of the Void Pill. In terms of the use of pills, Night Sorrow had set a rule for the Void Pill. Each member was not allowed to use more than 2 pills. He did not want them to suffer from the drawbacks of having unstable cultivation bases just for the sake of improving their cultivation base. Everyone also knew that it was not that Night Sorrow was reluctant to use his resources. It was also not that he did not have enough resources. Night Sorrow was just thinking about everyone's future. With the improvement of his soul power and the cultivation of the crescent blade, Night Sorrow was able to execute the soul extinguishing slash with ease. The effect of the slash was very strong. He could completely kill the demon beasts without them noticing. However, using the soul extinguishing slash consumed a lot of Night Sorrow's soul power. Currently, he could only use it 3 to 4 times. When he used it for the 4th time, he would feel dizzy. On the 6th day after they arrived, they received a battle order. It was a secret letter sent by a law enforcer of the Tianji Tower. You're tuning into the Journey of the Soul YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.